everybody on board? We have a will to live here.
It's recording right now.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Good morning, people kind. Welcome back to Fresh, Slick, and Mick. This is officially season 2 of Windsor, Ontario's finest modern millennial bro down. Thank you for riding with us this far. How we doing, ladies?
Swell. I'm doing swell. How are you doing?
Is that because you're injured and you're swollen?
Yes, that is. Yeah,
I
my
thought it was
back's
like
kind of sore.
1921, and apparently we're using the term swell now for how we do.
Get on the trolley, baby. I like
Yeah,
it.
baby.
Yeah, baby. Slick, you all right there, bud?
Yeah, sorry. Just got some, I'm an important person.
Cool. I'm good. I got like some shit happening at home to make my house not flood again. I'd really like not to lose like $25,000 again and spend several nights to 4 a.m. working on my basement with Mickey. That sucked balls.
That was my favorite
Yeah.
part of the whole experience, but if you don't want me there.
No. It was the work. It was the
Yeah.
work.
No, man.
See,
I
this
remember.
is again. I'm always gonna put these moments out there because I beat the shit out of you on this show. But like, I was so fucked up from that flood. My house is in shambles. I didn't even know what to do with my life. And I was like, I just kept stopping and looking at the devastation around me, just like, what the fuck am I gonna do? And like, I was choked up, but I wasn't gonna cry. I was just frozen. And Mickey was just like, just keep cleaning, bro. Just keep cleaning. And I was like, fuck, I needed that, you know? So like, Mickey is the dude. You listeners need to understand. And for the next hour and a half, I'm going to talk a lot of shit at him. So
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
I'm good at taking those sort of things.
How you doing, Mickey?
Man, I'm good. I finally starting to take my health into my hands with some push from you guys.
How old are you?
28.
Attaboy! Better late than never. What'd you do?
I went to a physiotherapist, and I decided to cut out the middleman of my family doctor because, they go, oh, just go to this guy because I know him, or it takes too long to get to him anyways.
Yeah.
I just decided to go, physiotherapists in my area that take walk-ins, and then found one, took me in the next day, did a little adjusting, kind of figured out where I'm at, and I feel a little bit better, like I can breathe normally.
So you said a prayer to the Google gods and it was answered.
Yes, I had to sacrifice 2 goats, though. It's weird. I didn't. It was after my Google search, it popped up, and I was like, I should probably tell somebody. I'm telling you now.
I think that's a different kind of physician, bro. You might have gone to like a witch doctor.
yeah.
I feel better.
Okay, that's all I
can
give a
sell
fuck.
your soul.
Fuck
Yeah.
those goats.
Yep.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. Well, I'm glad everybody's doing well.
You.
Except
All
me.
about that well-being.
Except me.
Why aren't you well?
No, I'm swell.
Oh, that's right.
Right?
Is that
Remember
like
this whole
super
thing?
well?
No, well, it is. But I also am hurting still. So I should probably do what you did and go see
Honestly,
someone for my health.
I was there for like half an hour. The only extra...
No, I know. I've been before, but
Oh, okay.
I'm just lazy and,
And it's
whatever.
expensive. Not super expensive, but it still hurts a bit.
What can you do, right?
We can go together.
I don't want to do that.
All right.
Okay.
Well, aren't you a fucking team player?
I am not a team player.
So I'm walking through the mall today.
Sick.
No, it's already a lie. He doesn't go to the mall.
No, I do because the gym's at the mall.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't go in through the mall. You're like, outside entrance, perfect.
No, I do because I don't know why. I like to just put my fucking headphones in and just walk slow.
Is it
like,
open that early in the morning?
No, I went later today.
Oh, okay.
But like, chest up, shoulders back, just like walk like a badass and put on some sick tunes. You
Yeah.
know,
Why?
Scare those early morning mall walkers.
it was
Excuse me.
4 a.m, Mickey.
Oh, okay. That's a lot later.
Give up the early morning thing.
No, when he
Yeah.
goes early morning, like it was a bit later. I figure, okay, maybe he was there for 8.
No, I'm scaring like 15-year-olds. Yeah. No, it like gets me in the zone. Those tunes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Got me thinking like I have used music as every kind of possible fuel for my body. Like, you use it motivationally, use it as a consolation.
Mm-hmm.
It can speak to you in many ways. Art in general can speak to you in many ways. I was last summer, I was in Ottawa at the War Museum, like the Canadian War Museum, and they had a Vimy Ridge anniversary. So there was an expo because it's like the 100-year anniversary of Battle of Vimy Ridge. So, I mean, and I'm into everything. I fucking love museums. I'm about all this. So you walk in to the special expo, which is off from the rest of the museum. And at the time, they just had this room painted navy blue. And there was one short bench. And then there was this giant fucking painting. And I mean giant. Called Ghosts of Vimy Ridge. And I was this close to crying. Instantly. And I don't know if it was just like the smothering silence of the room, the colors, and just the overpowering image, but like it fucking hit me. And my mom was a few steps behind me, and she like choked up, and I heard her, and I was like, holy shit. And she's like, yeah, it's just powerful, man. And it's a good painting. Like, you should look that painting up, Ghosts of Vimy Ridge, but it'll never do it justice to see it on your screen,
right?
You know, still look it up.
Yeah, you gotta be there in person.
But it was
right?
it was just heavy, man. Heavy. So
I'm bringing it up right now.
Just
because I just want to see.
That's the one, Mickey.
Dang, it's actually kind of scary looking.
It's
yeah,
Vimy Ridge with the current monument. So it, like the picture is from like post World War I, but all the little white suggestions of soldiers and everything. It just, I don't know. It got in my head.
It's harrowing.
Dude, that's a really cool picture.
Yeah, it's a really cool picture.
You
and
know
I don't know shit about visual art.
You know what
No,
though?
I know.
Show somebody else this, they might think it's from Lord of the Rings too. Like objectively.
What?
Well, it looks
Because it looks like the two towers. Are you fucking kidding me?
A little bit.
Are you kidding me? The two towers were not 8 feet apart from each other.
No, but
There's this giant eye on one and an old gay dude on the other.
Hey,
no,
he may or may not have been gay. That's none of our business.
I'm pretty sure he was gay.
In real life.
Christopher Lee?
Yeah, wasn't Christopher Lee gay?
Oh.
No, he may be the word behind James Bond. Like when the guy was writing stories about James Bond,
The motivation.
it may have been about him and his exploits.
Christopher Lee?
Yeah, man.
What the fuck?
He's a crazy badass dude.
No shit. I mean, he was old by the time we were born, so I never heard any of this shit.
Yeah, I think he has like 2 metal albums under his belt too. He just has like kind of voiceovers on it.
Oh, that I did know.
Yeah,
that I did know.
When they were filming the first Lord of the Rings, the director was trying to figure out how to get like a throat slit sound perfect, and Christopher's like, "Oh no, I'll help you with that." Yeah.
Holy
yeah, like look
shit.
it up. Like he's a scary dude, man.
He just pulls someone out and slits their throat.
So, who was that? Don't worry about it.
Just an extra.
Yeah, there he is, Christopher Lee right there.
Is he dead now?
Yeah, he passed away a couple years ago.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he was Dracula.
I just saw it because Ian McKellen was gay. That like all those old Shakespearean actors are just gay as hell, and they're all just porking each other.
I don't know, man.
All the good ones.
Dude, I didn't even know who this guy was. So this is like my mind is blown right now
He's
because
fucking Count Dooku, man.
Yeah,
that too.
I know. Like I'm realizing all of this while I'm looking up, but I didn't know that he was what's his face in Lord of the Rings?
Saruman.
Yes,
Saruman,
thank you.
yeah.
I did not realize that was who he was. Who played him? I had no clue.
He is a bit of a chameleon.
He let his hair grow for that
Wow,
role.
that fucked me up. Thanks, Mickey.
Yeah, no problem. I'm glad I could fuck up your day.
Yeah.
See that, and so is an actor an artist?
Yes.
A liar.
Whoa. Okay.
Let's start
It
that
is.
steep slope.
All right. Let's
They
get
are.
into it.
They are artists. I would consider them
Hold on,
artists.
let's-
well, I don't know. Is lying an art? Because really, that's what you're doing. You're just lying.
There are some who believe lying is an art.
So do I. I do. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
you
like
gotta
pickup
be a good-
artists. Those guys are fucking liars.
Yes, but it's an art,
Wow. Okay.
I guess. I mean, what is an art? Like, what's the
Well.
definition of an art?
Mickey, what's the definition of an art?
You know what? This is the one time Mickey's not prepared for the definition of what our topic is.
Fuck's sake.
Well, but like, what? How do you define art though? Because like you have your visual art, you have like we're calling acting art.
Sure. Cinema.
So yeah,
You know,
what is
some people
art?
think business marketing is an art form.
Yeah, you know who thinks that? People in marketing. Fuck them.
Okay, so we have the first one, art. The expression or application of human creative skill and imagination, typically in a visual form such as painting or sculpture, producing works to be appreciated primarily for their beauty or emotional power, which you were lucky enough to feel when you went to Ottawa.
Yeah.
And then the second definition we have is the various branches of creative activities such as painting, music, literature, and dance. Acting's not in there, but
Well, lying would just be like literature because you're just making shit up.
No, but it's not a lie, bro, because it's acknowledged that it isn't true. Like, you know this going in.
it's called nonfiction. Sorry, fiction. Fuck me. I always do that.
Are you one of those people who can never get them straight? Which
Yes.
one's which?
I remember I have a harrowing experience in high school where they're like, oh, what's something example of nonfiction? And then I blurt out fucking like Lord of the Rings or something like that. And look like, damn it.
Well, hold on. That might still be true. That's never been unproven.
Fair enough.
Okay,
I've never been to New Zealand.
So now if lying's not an art and actors are just like...
No, I'm not saying lying's not an
Okay.
art, although that's weak.
We're on the fence.
But I'm saying acting is not equal to lying.
No. Well, yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I just feel like it is.
But
And it's
when
not
you
like I'm not
act-
insulting actors, by the way. I'm not-
And I understand your point. An actor could walk into a room, pretend to be someone else, and
You're
then
pretending.
and sell it. Yeah, pretending. Okay. But when you're acting in your chosen format, it is acknowledged that that is not who you are. Unless you're fucking Heath Ledger, then you kind of forget.
I'm gonna say lying. It's gotta have probably like a more nefarious purpose. Like I'm doing this for a particular reason,
Right, okay,
for
so-
certain outcomes or something that I want or something I want to happen, etc. But like to act, it's like your purpose of acting is to portray a role, and
It's to sell your role. That's what it is.
Yeah,
right?
but
So it's
but you're
like
not
to
doing
sell
it
a
for
lie.
you're not doing it for nefarious purposes. You're not going like, oh,
No,
I'm
you're
gonna
not.
I'm gonna pretend to be, since we're on Christopher Lee, I'm gonna pretend to be Saruman.
Or they are, so they just get
So
a
when
bunch
I
of
go out
fucking
into
money.
the world, people will be afraid of me. Oh, he's gonna cast a spell on me. Oh, he's just doing it for the movie.
I say that every time I leave the house. I'm like, oh shit, Christopher Lee's gonna come. No, I guess you're right. Yeah, because lying is more. You're doing it low key,
But
under the radar shit.
I'm still not on saying that lying is not necessarily an art
Yeah,
form in
neither-
and of itself. That we'll get
You
on
got to
that
be
more
creative, I think.
Well, just-
and quick to think.
Well, you got to understand too, because if you're lying to one person, you may be lying to multiple people.
So-
You have to keep that lie up. And if, let's say, if I'm lying to you, Slick, about something Fresh and I did, am I going to make it so much that maybe Fresh won't go, whoa, hey, that's not what happened, or he'll go, oh, maybe that's what happened, or I have to maybe go think of maybe I won't lie because Fresh was there.
I think we need to drop lying in light of both of
Yeah.
those definitions we
I just
examined.
want, yeah.
Because that's not the point at all.
No.
No, for sure.
But okay, acting. I definitely think it's an art form. I mean, like it's a form of expression.
Oh,
In a way,
absolutely.
it's like playing a video game. You know,
Video
outlet.
gaming.
Yeah,
Is it a form of
like
expression?
you're some. Yeah, I think so. Not like art, but like if you're like pissed off at the world, you kind of lose yourself in it.
No, I think that making a video game can be a form of art.
Yeah, it's 100%. But I was just talking playing.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I guess I'd be more watching a movie then.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point is, I would say acting is an art, for sure.
Yeah. All right. But acting isn't really an art that any of us pay specific attention to. Like, we're all big music fans.
Yeah. Okay.
I couldn't tell you shit about visual art, but I know that it's significant. You know it kind of was and kind of wasn't covered in those definitions, Mickey? Architecture. Architecture is obviously got an artistic aspect to it.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
Well,
architecture.
It's interesting because you make your buildings, sure, but if you want to make them look a certain way, they also have to be structurally sound.
Yeah.
And is that where the art form comes in, or is it more so the art form of this is what I have, and now I'm going to build it and make sure it stays structurally sound, and that's where the couture part comes in.
I feel like as soon as you include math, all artistic merit is drained and it sucks.
Well, but that's one thing.
That's so. That's
The very
so not
little thing
true.
that I know about visual arts is there's a lot of math involved when they get everything ready before they start painting. Like it's not just well,
Aspects.
here we go. I'm just
See,
going to
there's
start.
math involved in music. There's math
Oh, I-
involved in
well, no, I know.
poetry,
Fake
there's-
news.
Fake news, my butt.
What would a drummer know about counting?
Oh, nothing. Definitely nothing. 1, 2, 8.
But whatever gets the ball
No,
rolling.
but math is like. I wish I wasn't such a fucking.
But math is in everything, though. I don't think we should say once you
Math
have
is
to.
one of the truths of the universe. Let's just say that. There's actually like a philosophical thing.
That was
Do
a
you remember
fucking joke,
Oh.
y'all.
Well,
Obviously, I know math is important.
You sounded
that? I know
so.
that, but then you got me thinking on how important math is with art,
Man, we're gonna talk about math
Ooh.
now. No, I'm just kidding.
right?
Yeah,
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 so that's
that's
why I
true.
got all jumpy.
that's true.
But okay, yeah, sorry, I got a little sidetracked there. What was the original question?
I was just
Didn't
talking
you
about
ask-
different
okay.
types of art that we're all interested in.
Right.
And he brought up architecture.
Architecture. I think
Architecture,
architecture. I mean, you got to build something. The first thing is structurally sound, right?
Yeah.
Then the art comes in when you got to make it visually pleasing to everybody else.
But you gotta have the vision first.
Yeah.
This
true.
is where the
Very true.
religious influence on art, like all through history, is really interesting. People are like, "Oh, you're not religious. You want to get rid of religion. Does that mean you want to get rid of all these amazing buildings and like history of songs and the Bible and everything?" I'm like, "No.
Some of those, yes, but on the whole, no.
No, fucking keep them all." But people act like none of these things would have ever come about. They'd be different, sure, but another institution would have popped up to allow people the free time to pursue art, to solicit the collecting of monies from the general population that would eventually turn into grand buildings and shit like this. Like, it didn't have to be religion.
No, it just was.
Yeah, just what, like,
That's just how it happened.
exactly.
No. Yeah. Oh,
Speaking of which, how about that Catholicism lately? Whoo, she's hot. She's hot.
What about Catholicism lately?
Yeah, I seen the news with I think it's in Pennsylvania, giant predator scandal.
Oh, no, I haven't.
Yeah, it just came out. Okay, never mind.
Really, eh?
Yeah, this fuck. I mean, in case you.
oh, you know what? I did hear briefly about that. But
Yeah.
I haven't been really up to date on the
I
news.
constantly listen to the CBC, and I have
They said
missed this.
Philadelphia.
I don't know how you missed that.
I have no idea.
Anyway, not important.
Yeah.
It was wild.
Right on. Yeah, man, art's important. It's just kind of hitting me the more we talk about it. Like, people need, like, okay, I know I just said like twice, but I do have a decent point, I think. When you're walking down the street in, like, your hometown, and you want nice shit to look at.
Yeah.
You don't want to look at shit, ugly shit, because then you just feel like shit. At least I do. Right? So when I'm walking down the riverfront here,
Yeah.
I like it. It's nice. I mean, it is. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
a good vibe, you know. So art just on an everyday, like a daily thing. Not even music, not even like paintings, not even words or anything. Just your environment and how it looks around you. At least man-made shit. That's important, I think, to people.
So you're saying landscaping is a form of art?
That's what I was.
Yeah,
Good.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You got to plan it out. You got to make it look. It's like a masterpiece,
Is-
or it looks like crap.
Is manscaping a form of art?
Oh, you bet
If you
it is.
do designs in it, maybe.
I did an arrow one time.
Oh my god!
Like pointing straight down, or
Yeah, like okay, so
Pointing
I got,
away,
I
like,
got real, run. No, I got real drunk and I shaved. I kept all the hair, and I shaved everything off. But the hair was the arrow.
Oh,
pointing
on your
down.
chest.
Yeah, on my chest.
So
No, not my just my chest. My
What?
whole
I thought you
torso.
meant like your pubes though.
No, like it
Oh.
was just all right there. Oh yeah,
Awesome.
and then, yeah, it was a wild night. It
Visualize
was
if
a
you
terrible,
wish.
That is art.
terrible night.
That is art.
Yeah, I don't even remember that night. Anyway, I would say that's art because it was damn good. It took me like fucking 45 minutes, bro. I was there getting.
I can just imagine him
Getting
like
the
in
ruler
like
out
a
and shit.
full mirror, getting his thumb and his index finger, kind of going, all right. Oh no. There we go. That's
I definitely pinched my nipple with the razor once
Yeah,
or
you
twice.
did.
Oh.
So it's like you got some visual art behind you.
Yeah, I do.
Now tell me about it. Like you don't have to explain
well,
it to me
no,
or
it's just-
anything,
it's
but like
kinda
just
just like
give me
that-
the skinny. Because like what's
The
up
skinny.
with that?
You want the skinny on this piece of art?
Yeah, I'm 400 years old. Okay.
No, it's just abstract art that me and a buddy did.
Okay.
Shout out Ted.
Yeah.
Gotta shout him out. Check his art out on online.
Big Ted.
Big Ted. And you know we get together sometimes. I make the music and he starts painting. Then we switch off and we just kind of we just do our thing, and it's really like therapeutic. I didn't actually know because I haven't painted in years. Years. I'm talking like grade school. And I did it once. I was like, oh my god, this is fun.
cathartic.
It's like I want to start painting, even though like I'm not like good at painting, but it's just
Well, you gotta
fun
start
to like
somewhere, right?
mix the colors. Even just doing that stuff, like that abstract-y kind of whatever. like whatever you're feeling. It's just cool to do. And then I got kind of hooked, but I obviously don't have the room to do it.
Yeah.
Like So that's for another day.
So
Another
it's
hobby for another day, but
it's expressive. Does the final
Very.
product mean anything?
yeah. Oh yeah. I keep these out.
Yeah.
I know Ted wants one. I gotta hit him up and get him the blue one there.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, right. No, and I keep them out
It's a
behind when I'm
stew.
making music. Just kind of like I would like to hang them on the walls, but obviously I can't. So
Yeah.
another day. But yeah, I keep them behind when I'm jamming out and making just in my chill zone. So yeah, it's an environment thing. So yeah, that ties into what I said about art being super important in environment as like a whole community and internally in your own home or workplace or whatever you're looking at, visual.
So, to that effect, and we'll revisit this point a lot, I hope. Does art describe an ideal?
An ideal?
An ideal, like the
Could describe an emotion.
but even in the sense that it's sort of a philosophical concept like Plato, right? Like the perfect expression of that emotion is in this art, or at least that's the idea, right?
Right.
So does life, this is Oscar Wilde, does life imitate art or does art imitate life? I don't know, because you're always striving for an ideal, but how do you picture that without some kind of representation?
Right.
Art.
Right. That is weird. It's almost like a
Yeah,
paradox,
man.
eh? Like you
Yeah.
can't really pinpoint it.
My mind went to, is it the Seven? Canada's big artists of nature.
Yeah.
And then who was the outcast eighth one?
It's
What
the
was-
group of seven.
Group of seven, thank
Yeah.
you. But there's an outcast eighth one who was never really inducted into the seven.
Batman? I don't know. I've never heard of this.
Ted.
Well, anyways, I just I was brought to particularly his paintings of nature and.
Oh, I think I watched a thing on this.
Okay,
Anyway, sorry.
but
Sorry, just hit me.
Where you're saying, do we real life art, real life, that kind of going back and forth. Like, do these guys go out there and just go, "This is art," and I'm just going to capture it on this? You know what I mean?
So you're suggesting the natural world is art?
Yeah, well, because you said like, does art? What did you say again? I'm sorry.
I guess that's the only way you can firmly say that art imitates life.
Yes. I was actually about to say
is
that.
with nature, because nature has no concept of
That's
art.
how it must have started, right? Okay, so if we look back at like cave paintings and stuff, other than the religious ones, the spaceship looking ones. Another story for another day.
Yeah.
But okay, there's a lot of hunting animals and stuff like that. Just
Yeah.
everyday things that people saw. So I would say life would inspire art.
Though you didn't say people could be art when you're saying like nature is like the purest form or what have you.
That's what I mean, because once you start to involve the human mind, it all gets.
I mean the human body. That's what my mind went
That'd
to.
be
Like
classified as nature, no?
Well,
But,
like
but what I'm saying is, without human, because we throw a wrench in the whole fucking thing.
we do.
Nature has no concept of art. But once we begin to perceive and think of a thing differently, this is the whole idea behind Impressionism,
Yeah.
right? Like Impressionist painting. They finally didn't need paintings to be realistic, because that had been the struggle from cave painting times to make things look as realistic as possible, which is why like 16, 1700s, you get these hyper realistic, amazing fucking things, and it's so fucking crazy. And then you get into the mid to late 1800s, and you're like, what the fuck is this?
Well, everyone just kind of gave up.
Well, what happened was photography.
Yes.
They didn't need to
You don't
paint
have to do it,
realistically
yeah.
anymore, so they started to paint what they felt.
Yeah, because it
which
was
is
more
Impressionism.
reference, right? Yeah. So
Well-
that's where the like a reference,
Well,
a
art could
reference
be,
painting instead of an impression. An
at
impression. painting.
that point, art could be art for its own sake.
Mm-hmm.
Previously, you still wanted it to be beautiful, and that's why Henry VIII married an ugly bitch, But
What?
What?
no, that happened. I can't remember. I think it was. I don't even remember which wife it was. Anyway, some dude brought him a painting of this broad, and he's on like his sixth wife or whatever, and she was super gnar, but the painting was legit. So he's like, oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So like MySpace angles didn't invent this problem. This has been around forever.
Yeah, this is my daughter. Yeah, I'll take her. This was not what was shown to me.
Exactly. But
You catfished him.
he catfished. He fucking catfished him. But that was the idea back in the day. Was you more or less strive for realism, even though it was still art.
Okay, and when you said like after photography, people started to look at things differently. I think of the sculpture of the thalidomide woman.
Okay, go on.
Well, just for the clarification, thalidomide folk are.
No.
So there was a drug in like 80s.
Yeah.
So this
tell the story,
one artist. Okay. So the thalidomide was a drug that women would take early pregnancy, so they wouldn't have morning sickness.
This is like the early 1900s, I think, or early or mid.
The drug?
The thalidomide. Yeah.
Oh, this was like the 80s. Like my mom almost took that shit.
Oh, fuck me.
Yeah. So anyway, so it stopped morning sickness, but the effects were dramatic. Like you if you see people like with like not fully grown limbs, like shorter limbs and stuff like that, that's from thalidomide, and they're called thalidomide people. So anyways, so this woman sculpted a pregnant thalidomide woman because that was her vision of a human body. This is what people can look like. Mm-hmm. And it's really interesting that you say, like, photography sharing, but people started to express themselves differently. And this is how this woman decided to go, you know what? These people are people too, and I'm going to represent them, what a human being can look like. It's pretty powerful stuff. You go like, oh, wow.
So when was that, Mickey?
Oh,
when was that sculpture? Because obviously this drug is relatively recent.
Yeah, I'm gonna. It's more recent. I'm looking up right now, but I don't want to say it's like the 90s, but it could have been as early as that.
Right.
I don't even know how to spell thalidomide.
But even art in the popular sense, it hasn't been for the people. It has been for the nobility or whoever can fucking afford it for most of human history, which is why I think the current era is so fucking cool. And if the rappers on the radio suck balls, you can go somewhere else. You are not even. It's not even the '60s. You're not even just forced to listen to what's on the radio.
Yeah. Really, you don't even.
There's no excuse for complaining, really, even though we do all the time.
Oh yeah, because it's fun.
So
for me,
music.
What about it?
Music I think it's the most interesting form of art because it's gone through such drastic changes over the years. Mm-hmm. But unlike other things, or at least most other forms of art, all of the old forms of music also still exist. They're all still valid. Mm-hmm. You might not come across a lot of fiddlers or harp players, but they are still out there.
Oh yeah,
like buskers sort of thing. Well, no. What, did I miss it? Fuck me. Sorry, I'm still trying to figure out the thalidomide woman here.
No.
Like buskers or so. Oh,
no,
man.
they don't have to be fucking street performers, Mickey.
Well, I'm just saying.
Jesus Christ.
Yep, I do things.
Yeah, you do. Okay.
Fuck.
No, what I'm saying is that they've all been preserved because they're all still legitimate and viewed as valuable.
Okay.
So that's why I love music. But I wonder, if you look at the pop charts from the 60s and 70s, we brought this point up before, you don't fucking see Zeppelin on there.
No, you don't.
You see some fucking trash you may not have even heard of. Mm-hmm. So how do things stay relevant?
How do things stay relevant?
Like in an artistic sense, right?
I mean, it's all about the wave. Whatever wave is that.
Yeah, but we're
man.
oversaturated with fucking trap right now, and nobody's gonna remember 90% of these dudes. Probably more than that.
Yeah, but
you think they should take a little more responsibility for their art then?
That's.
Remember when you showed me that video where this guy compared One Direction to the Beatles?
Yeah.
And how
it's actually a really good fucking comparison.
Really good.
Because he kind of like puts all the qualities of the Beatles and all the qualities of One Direction in a box and lines them up side by side. Now, of course, when you set it up that way, you can make it sound similar. But you're like, yeah, these are basically the same two movements.
But what happened was I almost took responsibility for their art and said, we're at a point now where we can branch off and do what we want to do. Sure, they did break up later, but they had a few albums that would come out where it was their money, their sound. And it was totally different from the, One Direction sounding sort of music.
And you know how you know that's a good point? Till he just said that, you didn't even know if he was talking about One Direction or the Beatles.
I know. I was going to be like,
Right?
what the fuck are you talking about?
That's kind of trippy.
But, yeah, I guess it's kind of like the same movement.
So not saying that One Direction has failed in the music ways. It's more so they were almost kind of given the door was open to them, to the music world, and it's like, hey guys, let's kind of buckle down, do this bullshit for a while. But when we get to a point where like we're self-made millionaires, if we are artists enough, let's do it ourselves.
Yeah.
So we're waiting on that. I don't know if they've come out with their own shit yet, but they may.
So
they may
touch.
turn it around, and like one of the guys may make like some really beautiful music outside of One Direction.
Yeah, maybe. But
Maybe.
now you got
But
to
that's what I
also,
mean.
you got to think though, like, music nowadays, always look at the fucking credits. Because, like, sometimes, like, oh, this song's awesome. You look at the credits, like, 40 fucking people wrote this fucking song.
No, I know.
Yeah,
I'm sure
So-
there was people involved back in the day, too, but probably not as many, I'm guessing.
So to revisit the point, do they have to be more responsible with their art? And I don't know if I think they do. It's like Eminem said, they blame it on Marilyn, but where were the parents at?
Yeah.
Or fucking Gambino, get your money, black man.
Oh,
You know, well, like, it's how can you argue with those things?
You can, man.
You can't.
Just do it.
If you expect everybody to take complete, perfect responsibility for everything they do, well, for one, you're always going to be fucking disappointed. But for two, you deprive art of just this wealth of human experience, because a lot of human experience is shitty.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know. That's like, does art mimic life, or does life mimic
Okay,
art?
so just to be clear, when you say responsibility for their art,
Yeah.
do you mean what they're putting out? What
Or
kind
what-
of person they're portraying? Like,
Well, yeah. What
the character? Because now it's almost like, if we're talking modern day artists, like, musicians, anybody really,
Yeah.
it's almost like everybody's trying to be somebody else. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you look at people. Do you ever look at like Instagram and be like, "There's no way that guy's a real fucking person"? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah,
Lightweight, baby.
Ronnie fucking Coleman. Yeah. Anyway, it's like, so are you talking about responsible of like what they put out to the world?
Well, actually, it was Mickey who was talking.
Yeah,
about
I
it.
know, but then you kind of
Well, I mean,
Said it.
so
Yeah, what did you
we
mean?
have One Direction, and they're coming out with this cookie cutter music where people listen to it and go,
Yeah,
"Oh,
no, I
I'm
get
that
it,
girl
I
in
get
that
it.
song." But for them to go, "Yeah, this is what we're all about. Woo, we're all this," and you're going, oh, "Okay, if this is who you want to be, then own that. Then just be like, this is who we are. This is what we're here for." Or when they are done and go, "Yeah, I got into this, so I can make music. I wanted to be my own voice, and this was one step closer to me doing that."
See, and that's what I mean. I don't have a fucking problem with that mentality.
And I don't
do
have
what you got to do.
And I don't have a problem with them building these boy bands or these girl bands or whatever, these bands, and people go, "Oh, I love this," and then all of a sudden they fizzle out and they just rinse, wash, and repeat with new people.
Yeah, and
you know what?
I say that hating all of those bands.
Yeah, do what you want to do, but like, just if you at the end of the day,
Be happy with yourself.
well, no. But I mean, like at the end of the day, if you want to like look back, 20 years ago, it's like, "Oh yeah, I was in a band." "Oh, what band?" "This band." It's like, yeah, you had like an album and a half, and you guys stopped making music because there was no substance.
I think he's
within
talking
music.
to you, Slick.
yeah, that was directed right.
Oh my god!
Fucking a-hole.
Directed at nobody.
Okay, well, I don't know. I'm still, this whole One Direction thing's throwing me off.
I think popular music, especially, poses an interesting question of artists getting hijacked by their own art. I'll give an example. Even going, back into the 60s and 70s, these people were so obsessed with portraying a lifestyle that who they were just fucking disappeared in it. But if you look at like the Toxic Twins, like Steven Tyler and Joe Perry, fucking, you know, shooting 8 balls mid set and shit like that. Did they just want to live like that, or were they trying to show that? You know what I mean? I don't know.
Well,
Neither do I.
Or is it a cycle?
Or were they trying to show it? Now they are like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
well, a good example. I was listening to an interview with James Hetfield of Metallica.
Okay.
Now they never were portraying, drugs, sex, alcohol. Woo, let's all get all fucked up.
Well, no,
with-
because they're metal, so it's metal.
Yeah. However, he said in his interview, talking about their, what are they called? When you are coming up to a show, what they want in their rooms.
Rider.
Thank you. He's like, it'd be drugs, it'd be alcohol, bowls of candy, like just all this garbage shit. And he's like, now when we are filling out our riders, like, oh yeah, I can get some kale and some salad and a nice
green tea.
vegetable spread and like all this health. He's like, he goes, the part of it too thing is why you're young and you're like, I don't give a fuck, and all these drugs are easy, I can get whatever the hell I want. And then as we're older, we're going, I want to keep doing this.
Yeah.
And also we're realizing more about the health industry and what we can do to better ourselves with our food.
Metallica's nickname in their early years, like the super thrashy days, was Alcoholica. Because that's how fucking drunk they were all the
Oh,
time.
Damn.
Yeah.
My friend of the family.
Speaking of questionable art, Metallica.
Yeah. Oh no, let's not touch that.
Wonder who designed their symbol. Is that art?
I don't. You'll have to ask Lars who he jacked it from. I'm sure that's what it was. Even the name Metallica he stole from someone.
No shit, eh?
Yeah, there was a publication that someone was coming up with called the Encyclopedia Metallica, like of metal. So like Encyclopedia Britannica.
Right.
Encyclopedia. So he just took that, called it his band name, didn't have a band. It was just Lars.
Wow.
Yeah, this is before he recruited anyone. So yeah. Anyway,
And how
Lars?
James Hetfield took it from there.
no, Lars has always been the fucking mouthpiece, dude.
No, I
hate
mean
that
like
guy.
Yeah,
artistic,
he's just
artistically
awful.
he took it from there.
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah.
No, he is just he's terrible.
I know, I know.
I just hate his face. He's got a punchable face.
There's a fucking documentary with, for when they were making Saint Anger, because they had this
Oh,
really
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Did you watch it?
No, but I've heard of it.
Oh man, it's worth watching. You don't even have to like Metallica. It's just really interesting. But Lars is in his fucking bajillion-dollar house, and he's got these fucking like Jean-Michel Basquiat paintings behind him, like $1 million fucking pieces and shit
Wow.
like this. And he's just kind of like idly gesturing to them in his fruity little European way. And he has no clue about it. Like I said, I don't understand visual art, but I also don't buy $1 million pieces, put them up
Right.
my house
No.
and try and sound like I know shit.
Yeah.
And that's fraud.
Pretend. Yep.
Lars Ulrich, fraud.
Fraud.
Speaking of lying,
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, that guy's the worst.
So he's the bottom example.
Very bottom.
Like, Chad Kroger?
Yeah, no. I was gonna. I
see though,
second. Second rung on the ladder.
he's just a spawn of
Of
the
Lars?
music. No, of like the music
Probably.
industry, of what they want. Like, oh, hey, what do we want? We want this, and they somehow formed him out of shit from Hollywood Avenue.
Out of,
Like, there
out
you
of
go.
shit in a bad wig.
Shit in a bad way.
Who got this wig? Oh, you just came with it. That'll work.
No, but these anyway, these like it's huge right now because of you can't do anything without getting bombarded on social media. It's all about the lifestyle. Lil Pump is doing insane fucking things, you know? And there's no reason to do those things. I'm sure he would have just as much fun fucking jerking off in a closet, but you gotta show out.
Oh yeah,
And
that's what it's with the gimmicks.
become part of it.
It is. It's not really. Is social media like art? Like,
Oh,
you know
that's
what I
a
mean?
gross
Like,
question.
if Instagram is like digital scrapbooking, is
Yeah,
Instagram art?
but scrapbooking's
No,
not.
because now
art.
everyone's is photography art.
Absolutely, it
Okay,
can
because
be.
everybody with a motherfucking cell phone is now an artist.
No, but just
No, but it's worth considering. Like, where then do you draw the line? Is there any creativity in this?
And that's what I mean. Where it's kind of like, oh, look,
that how
I'm
we look at
snapping
it?
pictures of things. It's like, well, but what is it to you? Are you just putting pictures so people will like it? Because
Right.
that's bullshit right there. But if you,
what I do.
if you like almost like, I don't want to say like you have to devote your life to it for it to be art, but like you have to have some sort of conviction towards what you're doing. You can't just do it to say I'm an artist.
Right, with quality too, right?
You want to like I've taken a few decent pictures in my life. But I'm not gonna go there saying I'm a fucking photographer.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You can't just call yourself a rapper and not do any rapping.
Yeah,
Well,
true.
it's like, well, okay,
True.
like
Very true.
I can't really think of any examples because I don't do a lot. But I forge, but I don't go around telling everybody I'm a fucking blacksmith.
Right.
I tell people you're a blacksmith.
Really? Yeah.
I got my buddy Mickey. He's a blacksmith.
fucking
He'll make you a sword and a shield. No, I'm just kidding. Is that a form of art, blacksmithing?
Why not?
Yeah.
If architecture is, why not?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
You know, they've got all these things in museums, all these fucking
Yeah.
relics.
Yeah. Pretty much everything is a form of art.
That's gross too.
Figure skating.
Well, we did see dancing in
Yeah,
as a
dance,
form of art.
dance. Hockey. Hockey is a form of
Or
art.
sports in general. I think so, yeah.
No.
Yeah,
No.
I think so.
Man, there was a sour taste in his mouth of that. No.
Yeah. Why? Qualify that.
The way, like, plays. The way you run a play.
But that's strategy. So
Yeah, but there's art- the
art of war. There it is. Oh my god, I don't know
Listen,
anymore.
guys, art is everywhere. I'm telling you, the impact
Shit.
of art goes deep and no one even knows it. Think about it. Think of like, craziest team. No one's ever beat them. Fucking, they got this play that just locks you down. They win every game. They've won every game for like 10 years. Some guy comes along, like, say he's a coach, develops some play to get around it, and they win. That's like just a form of art by seeing something differently and expressing it visually,
and they'll
right?
say like a certain dude or a play is like poetry in motion.
Yeah,
so.
or vision on the
So
on the
is
field.
Fuck,
something
I didn't want to admit that point.
is something that moves us something that we may consider art? Moves us emotionally.
Yeah, I would probably consider
why not?
that.
Why not?
So when you see that play that beats out the other play that's worked for years, oh wow, people are moved by it, and they grown men and women are crying in the stands, going, "Oh, it's beautiful."
Yeah, I definitely
I would
think
hate
that's-
those people, but
but that
you're
is a
probably
form of
right.
art. Everything's artistic, I think. That's why I think art.
You think everything's artistic?
Most things. Name me
No,
something,
what-
and I can maybe see the art in it.
No, because you're forgetting about how dreary and dull most of life is.
Okay, like what?
That 9 to 5.
Yeah.
You can make it artistic.
How? If you
I don't
are
know.
an
There's
artist?
a million fucking 9 to 5 jobs, man. It all
Well, yeah,
depends
well,
on the job,
but
and
that-
the task at hand.
But I'm talking that nose to the grindstone, 9 to 5, pay my bills, just get by.
Give me an example of a 9 to 5. Give me three.
my fucking job. I stock
warehouse?
shelves all day.
You can organize it.
I can't. I have a
You
certain.
don't have the power. You have
no,
to do
no.
it.
They go. This goes
So
here.
you're just a robot with human flesh.
yes. It's horrible. The most
You almost quoted a Dance Gavin Dance song there.
Oh, that's terrible.
the most I get
That would have made you mad.
creative wise is like, oh, this doesn't fit here. Where else can we put it? I don't know. Here. It's honestly this is the most unrewarding job I've ever had.
Okay,
Oh,
but
that's terrible.
But what Slick's talking about is that job in principle, not necessarily
not what
your
you're doing.
specific
Okay,
application.
even again, principle of stocking shelves.
But say you built a display. Why am I helping this point?
I don't know.
Say you built a display.
Yeah,
or
but-
if you're stocking shelves, say you go to some warehouse and the person that worked there before you was, not the smartest
Degenerate.
or lazy. And then you go in there and you just got to do everything yourself. So you reorganize everything. That's reorganization and like alphabet.
Logistics.
What do you, like transportation?
no, but
like driving? There's art in
Well,
driving.
I don't know.
Definitely an art in driving for sure. There's a difference between people who know how to drive and people who don't. Not
Yeah,
people
but
who
it
can
doesn't
drive.
make it art, bro. You're not trying.
Dude,
in fact, you
if
no,
you-
you
if
might have
you
just made my
sit-
point. Art.
If
Art pertains to creativity, that is one of the places where you want to be the least creative.
no, maybe road driving, but I'm just saying driving in general. So go sit with a stunt driver, let him take you around, and you'll probably be fucking moved to tears.
I hate you.
I don't
Yeah.
think
I fucking hate you.
In any way, I think you can make something into a form of art. Is my point.
So maybe my point of if you are moved by it, it can be considered art to
yes.
you.
Humans are art. we create art. Like we are the catalyst for what art is. Because without us, art, I guess, really wouldn't exist.
So life is art, but art is also unappreciated.
Oh, whoops.
What?
You're like, life is art and art is art also, and I said life.
Oh,
I
yeah,
just said,
no.
it was just stupid.
No, I'm not going to give you that.
No, don't give me that.
All right, whatever. We've got the fucking completely useless point that apparently everything is art.
Yep.
Can we at least agree that it has to be creative?
Yes.
Yes, 100%. If it's just bullshit, it's bullshit.
That's what I would... Okay, never mind. Whatever. Fuck it.
What?
So,
what? No, say what you were going to say. Now,
I was trying to qualify something earlier, and you were just like, no, it's just like everything's art, man. Hair can be art.
Hair can be art.
You see
Your
people
hair is
doing their
art.
nails
Look at
lately?
your hair, man. That's fucking art.
Your hair is beautiful.
It's more like fart.
No, everything can be art if it's done creatively. Wow. Everything can be art if it's done creatively.
Does it,
Right?
as Mickey was
But
saying,
if you-
necessarily have to have an emotional impact? Or an impact of some kind?
I don't think so, because
I don't
I
either.
think art is just the perception on how that person sees things or experiences or feels things, even if they can't relay the emotion. Right?
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's
Okay.
all just like a perception-based thing. But like, if it's bullshit, it's still bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
So...
you can't find
all right,
art
all
in
right.
Mickey's job, right? In exactly what he's doing, but you can find it in the field of what he's doing. It can be done.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's fucking fun.
It has to have the intention.
Yeah,
Okay.
anyway.
I get it. All
Yeah.
right.
Sorry, man.
All right. So we've got that. At least we fucking
Whatever
got
that is. Yeah.
How has art specifically influenced, impacted, both positively and negatively, our personal lives?
Through all the different
Anything.
avenues of art.
I don't want, I guess what I'm looking for here is not individual anecdotes like my two little stories earlier, but like in a big way.
In a big way. Holy.
Well, you just start with music.
What's that?
Start the obvious. Yeah. What the fuck is music? Music. I don't know if it's. I'm trying to think if it's negatively impacted me. I mean, I'm sure
Why would
it has.
you say that?
What do you mean?
I mean, it's like your essence.
Yeah, but even your essence has to have a bit of negative.
I think I might see where
It's gotta be
never mind.
balanced.
Oh, is that-
Let's
I might
hear him
see-
out. Let's hear the man out.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh no, I guess like specifics. When I was partying, I would relate certain songs, even certain artists to that part of my life, right? So if I was going out, I'm like listening to this playlist.
Yeah.
I had like a thing, like a get ready thing, drink thing. So I guess it can affect. At the time, it was positive. It felt good, but now looking back, it's like, oh, that was a waste of time and money and most things. So now I look at it as negative. So in that aspect, but music is like the art of music overall. It's been very positive
Right.
on my life. So
When I think about music, I often wonder where or what I would be without it. But I just, because I can't help but see both sides of an argument, I have to admit that I would still be somewhere in something. I can't say maybe I would be a more productive and assertive person, because those times where I was taking solace from shitty parts of my life in music, maybe that was the wrong answer. I don't know. I'm not saying it was. I just have to admit that that's a possibility.
yeah, it is. That's crazy.
I know. It's
Actually, that's like crazy to think
It kind
about.
of sucks to think about,
I
right?
think about that, too. Just
Like, I spend so much time writing. I'm like, maybe I should have just been
doing stuff.
working on visual merchandising with Mickey.
Well, no, I think that if you're doing something that you enjoy, then of course there's a million other things you could be doing. But so what? So if you're doing 20 of those other things you could have been doing, there's still those other million things that you are not doing. So
No, I understand that, but I'm saying, is this nearly single-minded artistic focus good or bad, or has it thus far been good or bad?
Well,
Positive or
individually,
negative?
like on
Yeah,
an individual, I guess meaning has a lot to do with it,
Ooh.
right? So if you're somebody, I guess I don't know. I
I'm
guess
not.
like
I'm
me,
not somebody.
You
Everybody's
definitely
somebody.
are not. I can't even see you.
Everybody needs some.
Mary Poppins, bitch. That's not even Mary Poppins though.
We can scratch that
that's-
off the list now.
that's-
We're done.
That's what the new lit is.
I'm Mary Poppins, bitch.
Mary Poppins.
Fuck.
Flying out that bridge. Was it a bridge that she jumped off of? Man, it's been a while.
She
since I've
just
seen
she
that.
just escalated into the sky.
Yeah, she wasn't a fucking base jumper, bro.
Who fucking knows,
She came down
man?
from a
Shit's
cloud,
wild.
actually. From
Shit's wild. Who knows?
shit is
Getting
weird.
lit like
did
Mary Poppins, bitch.
actually originate?
Isn't it
Have
like
you not
a-
seen Saving Mr. Banks?
No.
Okay, they explained that it was actually a book.
No, I don't want.
Okay.
I don't want her fucking. No, hold on, this is important.
Okay.
I don't want her fucking creation as a character.
Like,
I
what
want
country?
like the character's backstory.
Isn't she British? Isn't it English or something?
But how did she become a flying ass maid bitch?
She got the umbrella.
Oh my god! Did that umbrella
Where'd
descend from heaven?
How the reindeer fly?
Magic.
Why the fuck does the Easter bunny lay eggs, dude?
Actually, that one I can explain to you.
Okay,
Really?
explain it to me.
Because
Monsanto.
the
Done.
give it a couple years.
Yeah.
No, the whole idea of Easter is symbols of fertility and rebirth. So that's why you've got bunnies, which are an extremely prolifically creating
Yes.
animal. Prolific? Anyway, they fuck a lot. And also eggs. So somewhere in the marketing, they mixed up
Those two.
birds and bunnies and just...
It's just weird.
Supposed to be the bird
But,
and the bees.
okay.
Now it's the birds and the bunnies.
Anyway.
Yeah, now it's the birds and the bunnies.
Whatever.
Platypus.
Yeah, buddy.
That should be
Yeah.
the Easter
That the
thing.
Easter platypus.
the Easter platypus.
What did the Easter platypus bring you, kids?
Fuck.
Swamp
Fucking
water in a
disappointment.
jar.
Yeah.
Disappointment.
My carpet's all wet.
Okay, so it has a lot to do with meaning as an individual.
Music does for you. This is what
No,
you're saying.
art. Any
Nope.
any form of art.
Okay.
If you want to take it to that, you know how you were saying you spend a lot of time writing,
Yeah.
concentrating that much on it. That's what you were talking about, right?
Well, I'm talking about in general, but yeah, sure. Use that example.
Okay, hold on. I'm confused now. In general, what do you mean? Like spending so much time in your head or writing or just with
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking for both of your specific answers
you want
here.
my okay, yeah. Okay, so
Because
for me,
I can give you mine after, but
right,
I mean,
okay. Sorry. I just got confused with what you wanted. Anyway, so it's meaning. But I guess for me and all artists, because this is how I perceive artists, like your meaning, it feels right to do it. That's what you enjoy to do, like Mickey said earlier. If you enjoy to do it,
It feels right to. That's
yeah.
that's deep,
that's
bro.
not deep.
That
That is like
deep,
shallow.
dude.
It
That's
feels
the
right
fucking,
to do. But people
That's
search
the
like
Bhagavad
me.
Gita. You just
What?
went to like
What is that?
the Vedic text. It
What the fuck
feels
is the
right
Vedic
to-
text? That is badass.
Oh my god.
That is like you gotta link me this shit. Just
Okay.
the name of that, right? Like,
Actually, I can't link you it
Vedic,
because there's
what is
no
that?
one hard English translation
Whoa,
online.
this
I've
sounds-
looked for it.
super difficult for me to read then.
Okay, and let me bust it down real quick. So, we've all
Buzz it
heard.
down. Sorry.
You done?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You done trapping at the bando?
No, I'm
We
not.
have fun here.
Okay.
We've all heard Oppenheimer after the bomb.
Mm-hmm.
I am become death, destroyer of worlds.
Okay.
Where that comes from is this ancient epic poem, and there's a god talking to a warrior as he rides into battle. I believe it's Krishna talking to Arjun, and this dude is a warrior to his bones. This is the essence of what he
Okay,
is.
all right.
But he's questioning it, like, is war right? And this fucking poem is part of a bigger literary text.
Okay.
But the whole idea is he's asking the big questions on his way into battle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so Krishna transforms himself into his deathly aspect, and that's where that quote comes from. But his point there isn't just to make a really metal quote, though he did.
This will sound much better in the years to come.
Yeah, this is going to be dope in English.
Oh, yeah.
His point was that it is right to be what you are, so you shouldn't fight it. It is philosophically, spiritually, universally correct to be what you are. And I think that ties up in art, because I'll use a much more modern example. Tim Ferriss talks about, don't try and ignore the thing you're good at. Find it and triple down on it.
Yeah.
Hammer, go narrow and deep on your focus, because that's where you're going to succeed, because people are going to see you at your craft. Like no one fucking cares if you can do a little bit of everything.
No,
right?
then
They
you're just
care
that
about the
guy.
thing you're crazy good
Unless
at.
you're like fixing a house, and they love people like that.
Well, yeah.
You can do a little bit of that. I'll get you a case of beer and you're all set.
right.
Yeah.
But even still,
But
that's fairly
that's even
narrow.
Still, that's
Yeah.
a niche thing still.
yeah.
Right? We're talking about the
I know.
But what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
dude, you're talking about living your Dharma.
Well, yeah, that's your. If you venture into the world and you've no fucking clue
Sounds
what you want to
scary.
do, but you kind of do. Like me personally, I was always into music, and it always just felt right because it was part of my life since a very young age, right?
right.
So, and then when I let music leave my life, where I kind of just kicked it out the door for a bit, I had definitely hollow feelings.
That's fucking wild.
Isn't it
man.
weird? Like I didn't have that outlet.
Can I relate without trying to co-opt your story?
Yeah, I get. Yeah, sure.
I think I said this on a previous episode, but the period of time in my life where I was really happy,
Yeah.
I did almost no writing. And I don't mean like I only wrote once a week. I mean like in 3 years, I did almost no writing at all.
Mm-hmm.
And at the when it all came crashing down, you turn to old outlets, and I was like, holy fuck, I haven't done, I'm shit at it now.
Yeah.
And also I haven't done it in so long. And it's kind of a way that I consoled myself in retrospect, because I was like, if that's where this brought me, where I was so far from this thing that just is what I am, that just makes sense. Like, I wake up in the morning and I want to write. I'm not saying I always reach for the pen, but it's in there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But
You think about it.
yeah,
At least.
for sure.
Yeah.
So when something took me so far from that, even though it was so great, I'm just like, well, it obviously wasn't right.
Yeah.
I'm not like a destiny kind of person, but I think that you can examine yourself and see, like, this is really right for me or not.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I forced myself to try to fit into something that wasn't right. Even like a little bit of good at everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I could work in a trade area or whatever.
Right.
It's I
Get
like
by,
that. I
sort
like
of
that
thing.
shit. I can get by. I could probably do pretty well.
Yeah.
But it still doesn't feel like that's what I want to wake up and do every day. Like I said to my mom the other day, I just looked at her and I was like, listen, Mom, I love building shit, and I'll probably always build stuff, especially for myself. It's just fun. It's a great outlet.
Yeah.
But if I could wake up every day and smoke a lot of weed and write some dope-ass music and get paid for that, I'm definitely taking that route. And she just laughed, right? And it was just, I'm just like, that just feels right. But you got that struggle for that artist, like the struggling artist thing, is that in between when you're trying to perfect your craft,
Yeah.
but you want to make a living with it, but you're not making a living with it. You know what I mean? That's the hardest part, is that if you overcome those thoughts of like you're gonna fail, you're gonna succeed if you keep doing it.
I think you don't even necessarily have to overcome the thought of you're going to fail. You just have to accept that you might fail.
Oh yeah.
And fucking put it out there.
You only fail if you quit. That's it, man. You fail yourself if you give up on what you love.
Quit or don't do it.
Was that an inspost?
What the fuck is an inspost? I'm learning so much new
an
shit.
inspiring post.
Oh,
That
yeah.
that was a shitty one. It was a modern
Oh
term.
wow. No, that's just the truth. I mean, honestly,
It is the truth. It really is.
You fail yourself if you know what you're meant to do and you just give it up forever.
So, to that effect, Mickey, why don't you play guitar anymore?
Yeah. What the fuck?
I've actually I've been playing a lot more
found
lately.
God.
I found God. He said stop playing guitar. No,
I talk to God today.
I've actually been I have my guitar a guitar close to me almost at all times when I'm at home. So I can just kind of go, I'll look at it, pick it up, diddle a little bit, and then put it down. And then I'll kind of get that itch again to play a little bit more. And I'm finding I'm trying a little bit new things. I'm trying different techniques now. And I've actually started playing for my pets when they're near me. I'm like, I'm just going to play for you.
Okay.
And when they don't go away, I feel better. Sometimes my cat will look at me and go, and then off he goes to cough off a hairball. Because apparently
So when did this start? Because I have been up your ass for years about
probably
this.
like a week or so ago. Like I really no seriously. But I've been doing it every fucking day. I grab one of my guitars and I play. Again, I'll do it for 10 minutes. Sometimes I'll be there and I'll look and go, oh, I'm gonna be late for work. But I get a lot of release, like tension when I play. But I like to hear what I play while I'm playing it. Again, I'm gonna explain. When I'm playing something and I feel good about it, that is such a huge release for me. And that's one thing for me when it comes to art, particularly with music mostly, but on all the different spectrums, I'm very much an enjoyer of the arts. I don't think I'm ever going to leave my print on the in the artistic realm of something that I've created. I don't think I will. I may. I'm not leaving that out of the realm of possibilities. Yeah. But I see art, I listen to art, and I just enjoy it so damn much. I can get so much out of it. I can get so much out of music. I can get so much out of paintings. I can get so much out of movies. I see it for more than maybe its entertainment value. I feel different emotions when I am experiencing art.
There's a poem by Shihan, he's a slam poet from Def Poetry. And
man, why are all these names so fucking cool? Like straight up, like what's up,
bro? That's rule 1. No, that's rule like 0.5. If you don't have a dope name, you will never be anything. Yeah, that's what Lars Ulrich knew.
I knew. Yeah, right. Like that's the only thing, right?
You gotta have a dope name.
Metallica.
That's what I knew when I was creating every video game character I ever created. You gotta have a dope name.
I never followed that. That's
I named him after me.
Just like penis.
Just penis 1, 2, 3. Sorry.
What Shihan said was, eventually there's going to be no one in the audience and just a bunch of monkeys on stage. And I think that's what you have with, you're talking about Instagram as digital scrapbooking. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants their 15 minutes. Right. Now, that's not new.
No.
Everybody wanted the spotlight, and it takes a very prescient person like our good Pope here to understand that, some people just aren't meant for it.
Right.
Everybody will sit in an audience. Everybody's a fan, but to realize that you may never and should never be on the stage, you have to evaluate yourself there.
It's a tough pill to swallow. Like I hope one day maybe I can get the balls to maybe audition for like an acting position, but if I don't get it, that's okay. I tried and it's not for me.
Okay, so I think you should do that,
but
because
I think
you should always you should always try new shit and get uncomfortable, but to the effect of what I was just saying, you are a fucking guitar player, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not an actor, bro.
Slam down on that.
You think so?
Yeah. Do I think so? How long have I known you? I've been saying this forever.
It's weird to see people be good at something and then just give it up. I know a lot of people that are really good at one thing and they just stop.
But maybe they don't feel it in them like
True.
you're saying.
Well, I went to high school with a kid who had been playing classical guitar at the time for 11 years. Mm-hmm. Now, as far as last time I checked, he has stopped. He's like, I'm sick of it. I don't want to do it anymore.
That's understandable.
Yeah.
It's different. Yeah. He didn't find the companionship.
So if it's in you, right, that you got to have that love for something, that passion, that motivation, that want to create it, right?
I hope there's love if it's inside you.
Jesus. Him too.
Oh man.
Because I love music. Music moves me constantly.
Yeah.
I don't have to be drunk to cry to music. It's better because
that is good.
It's better for me because then I don't hate myself so much. But no.
All right.
But no,
I down a dark path here.
No. I can be 100% moved by music. It moves me beyond, oh, that was nice. Like, again, I get choked up over certain sounds of music.
No, I think that's very valid, man.
Oh yeah, I also do.
So I gotta tell a Mickey story.
Uh-oh.
I was hanging with some friends. It's probably midnight one night. Everybody's having drinks. I was perfectly sober. My phone rings. You know where I'm going with this?
Oh shit! Yeah. Oh.
So we were trying to write songs at the time, and I'm like, okay, dude, like if you want to work on some riffs, I'll do the lyrics and vocals. It'd be really cool. Which is one of the reasons I'm so pissed that he never plays, because I was hoping to kind of wedge myself in there. But anyway, so he's like, Fresh, I wrote like this crazy riff, and it's like I thought of like these drums. And like it's got like kind of, I remember what you said, you're like it's got like a disturbed kind of sound. I mean, I don't hate disturbed, so I'm like, okay, man, what's the riff? But instead of hearing a guitar on the other end of the line, he goes, it's like, and the drums are like, I'm like, and I mean the kid's drunk, but he's so hyped up. So like, what I'm gonna tell him, I'm just like, okay, cool, man.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh my God, you were so excited about something.
Yeah. And then what happened right after I got off the phone with you?
I don't know what happened.
I called Kev.
You called Kev?
He was in the room with you, remember?
Oh yeah.
And I did the same thing again.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
Fuck.
Jesus Murphy.
That's how excited I was. I want to tell everybody.
Yeah, clearly you were really excited.
Non-drinking Mickey is a better Mickey.
Speaking of artists and what you said with Instagram.
Yeah.
Is it fair to ask an artist if they're good or if they're shit?
Yes. Yes.
Right, okay.
Yes. This is. Go ahead.
Okay, no, we live in.
Hold on. Before you continue.
All right, yeah.
Is it fair to ask an artist of themselves? Mm-hmm. Like if I say, Slick, are you a good producer? That's what we're talking about? Okay. All right.
Is producing an art... I'm just kidding, guys.
No, that's a good question.
Oh, fuck off. You do great. Keep going. No.
No.
Answer Fresh's question.
What question am I answering? There's like 8 thrown at me.
No. Go back to your point.
What I was saying.
I just wanted to clarify that.
Okay, what was my main point?
Is it fair to ask an artist
if they're shit or good? Because I feel like today, especially today, if you have enough money, you can buy quality.
Okay.
So it's not always about quality, right?
You can buy an audience.
You can buy an audience. You can buy quality. And when I say quality, I mean quality production, quality imaging. You can buy all this shit.
So you can
make yourself look like this fucking mastermind of art.
So you can polish that turd.
Give me an
You can polish
example.
yourself. Any celebrity, they hire rap artist. Fucking let's do Travis Scott, Astro World. I don't even know anything about this album, but I'm sure.
Great example.
I know one Sicko Mode. The one song has like 5 producers on it. I mean, like that's I guess standard nowadays.
Okay, I'm going to need your guys' help for this guy's name real quick. He's somebody who writes a lot of beats for a lot of big artists, and he pretty much makes his money just doing that. Like he's got these deals where it's like, if it hits this level.
Are you asking us who this person is?
Apparently he's a very famous guy. I don't know who he is.
You just named 50,000 people.
Shit. Well, he's done shit for like Beyonce, 50 Cent, and.
Is this what you think about black people music? You think there's just one guy running the show?
No.
He's a Jew too, isn't he, Mickey?
No, it was back when I had cable. It was big lives with the
Back when I had cable.
Oh no, I haven't had cable for years. But no, it's where it's that show, rich and famous people and their lives.
Nick Cannon?
I don't know. But
it's Scott Storch.
It's gotta be. I don't even know what you're talking about. What does this have to do with anything?
Well, where you're saying like where you buy perfection, you buy production.
You can, and like I'm like kind of in this. Like I wasn't done my thought.
I'm sorry.
Here, no, it's okay, man. Like there is no. Don't even apologize to me.
Mickey takes it off the rails.
It's not about buying something. Okay, you can buy a beat, you can buy artwork, and whatever. You can do all that. I don't do all my own shit for myself. I mean, I kind of, I edit it, but like I don't.
But you don't go capture every sound. I understand.
You know what I mean? Like I don't do everything purely yet. I would like to. That's what I'm striving to do. I want to be do it purely, like myself.
The man behind the
curtain.
Anyway,
that's a lot of work. But if you're hyped up and you're like a multi-millionaire and you afford to do all this shit by yourself, maybe like if you're a musician, I get you're not going to do like your graphic art and stuff. Yeah, you can outsource that. It's different, right?
Yeah.
But if you're doing Astroworld is so hyped up and it's the biggest rap album, but it's like fucking there's like 30 people that made the album. It's not even a Travis Scott album. It's just Travis Scott with a bunch of other people who wrote his music.
Can I ask a question?
Right, what?
You just did.
Who the fuck is Travis Scott?
I don't know, some guy. I actually don't
guy.
even know. He does the Windows song.
That song sucks balls. You fucking sang that song at me for a year.
I like that song.
That song
That's
sucks
the only
balls.
Travis Scott song I like.
Okay, I know who he is.
But
yeah, he's shit.
my point is, and it's not just Travis Scott, and like the guy is whatever, he does his own thing. He just shows some pictures of Travis Scott.
Thanks, Mickey.
Yeah, no
Whatever,
problem.
do your thing, right? Do your thing.
Okay,
Like you said
okay,
earlier,
okay, yeah,
with
yeah.
respect.
Do your thing.
I mean, there's art.
Get your money
Everybody
back,
who's involved in that creative process is providing art. But if it's a Travis Scott album that Travis Scott didn't write all the music to, then what the fuck's the point? That's my point, and that's how a lot of albums are made now. There's so many people
where's the
involved.
actual
Where's the
expression?
actual expression of your own music? Now it's so many other people. That's why I have a lot of respect for guys like, J. Cole, who writes a lot of his own music, his own lyrics, does a lot of his own shit. He does everything.
Before, on Born Sinner, there's one song he didn't produce. He kind of came away from that a little bit.
Yeah,
but I mean,
but it's
he's still a purist, obviously.
Still, yeah. Anyway, you know what I'm trying to get here?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
So, question, because we were actually talking about Scott Storch the other day, and you were talking about how fucking cool he is, how crazy his story is. And you were saying how he saved all these beats with like just little key lines and whatever. That's his thing. So then but like, is he legitimate?
Yeah, okay.
Or does he just know how to
No, okay, because it's still art.
play in a catchy way?
Well, that's the thing. That makes him super legitimate for the industry he's in.
I believe it was Rick James who actually studied how.
What?
Hold on.
I believe it was Sir Rick James.
The best way to say that.
I believe it was him who actually studied how people reacted to certain notes, and then he just drove that into his music, where it's like, oh, this would make people feel hyped and excited. So he'd use a lot of that. This would make people feel moved and and bring tears to their eyes. I'm gonna use a lot of that. Like he actually took
It's an
sound
interesting point.
and understood it a little bit more.
It's an
The
interesting
psychology of music.
But that's 4 chords of pop. Somebody figured that out a long time ago and just beat the living shit out of it.
Scott Storch is legitimate. Everybody's legitimate.
In
a way.
But my point is, where's the expression? Where's the line that severs it from being art? Because
The community.
You think the
See, this is now
and
where
we're
it
adding
divides.
that to
Now
it
we're
too?
adding that.
Fuck
because
me.
with art comes a community, it comes a culture, right? So now there's more people involved, and now it's an art project. So you can't really take away the art from something more people are involved in, because now you have different creative aspects all working together, which is still super cool,
yeah.
right? So it's kind of like a line, right? Like
I don't know if 40 people are on one album trying to create this. I think it's more so they're looking at an equation or an algorithm. How do we do this to make the most money? Oh, let's do this.
True.
This is really popular right now. Like you look at certain producers for movies, for example. My brother told me about this one, the adaptation of Treasure Island with the Treasure Planet. If you ever watch at the beginning, the guy's like air surfing, sun surfing, or some bullshit.
Yeah.
The producer said, "Do this." Why? Because it's popular right now.
well, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but
Sun surfing was popular at the time.
apparently some producer, whoever was paid to do his job, he said, "This is what's kind of going on right
What's
now.
sun surfing?
Put that in there." Well, I think I don't know. It was like sand surfing or something like
sand
that.
surfing.
I don't know what
sand
the fuck it
surfing
was,
is.
but like it was where they have.
Treasure Planet is a movie in space.
Yes.
How was any of it popular at the time?
I don't know. It just happened to be, and but what I'm saying is,
I
it was
want these
a
articles, bro.
it was a producer's idea to go put this in because apparently people are doing this right now, and we need to put it in there to bring more people to
Okay,
watch the
but
movie.
that's relating it to,
But
just
what I'm saying
society.
is that's where I think the line is being crossed. Where it's like we're not doing this anymore to say something or to express something. We're doing this now in an algorithm sort of way to make sure people
It's
watch
like
it.
artistic
kind
hashtagging.
of. But I think, yes, it is. But I think there's a line in that line, if you know what I mean. Like, you have to kind
I
of.
fucking hate you today.
Why? Because I keep picking apart things.
Because you
It's just such a. It's a gray area, man.
It is.
It
is.
Art is such
With
a gray
lines
area
within
with
lines.
community lines within lines, because you can relate
like
something
drawing.
to something that's happening in society.
Sure.
But at the same time, you don't have to completely sell your fucking soul and sell out and just be shit and
Okay,
overproduce
okay.
crap.
But
Yeah.
hold on, we've
Right?
gotten so far from
Yeah.
the original.
Anyway, my point to this entire little segue was supposed to just be like, if you can ask an artist if they're good or shit, you can buy quality. Like, if you can create from your brain and relay it physically to the world, and it sounds or looks how you want it to. If you can honestly answer that, even if you say shit, I think you're a good artist.
Ooh, it's like the guy from The Doors. I just got in this for the girls.
Yeah, fuck that guy. But also, I have to admit this: hating Jim Morrison, I think Jim Morrison was a pretty pure artist.
I like Riders on the Storm.
Yeah, tell me what that song's about. Exactly.
Some dudes riding horses in the desert.
You know what that song is
about
about?
a car
That man
crash.
did drugs.
Yeah, I know.
A lot of drugs.
I fucking hate the Doors. So
That's cool.
I wanna. Y'all ever listen to Goche besides someone I used to know?
No,
No.
I just haven't.
I didn't even know
found
that
the
was. I didn't even know that was the name of the band until just now.
It's a dude. It's a dude.
Name of the dude until just now.
Okay, never mind then. He's mega hyper super duper legit and like
Oh, he
good
probably-
good
yeah.
good. You will like it, I promise.
But you can tell when pop music
But yeah, because even that song was
is
weird.
done good. It's like Chet Faker. I can't remember.
I believe it's Faker.
Yeah, that one song. I can't remember what it's called, but it was pretty big and it's written extremely well. Shit, I wish I remembered the title of it, but like Goche,
Yeah.
that song still it was
Nope.
weird.
I
It
have
was
Gold
done
and No
really well.
Diggity are my
Though.
first ones coming up.
But Goche is not really a pop artist.
Well, pop is popular music, whatever's popular.
No, I understand,
Right, but yeah.
but there is such thing as a genre of
Yeah,
pop.
yeah.
Now, where I think pop is legit, Kesha.
Oh, I was waiting for Michael Jackson.
No, and I mean,
Bruno Mars?
she had Dr. Luke, her fucking abuser, producing all these tracks, but at the same time, her personality came through. Even I don't know how much writing she did for lyrics, but like, you knew Kesha. You know what I mean?
I didn't because I never listened to Kesha.
Well, you have been fucking deprived, sir.
Probably. Let's have a Kesha session.
Yeah, right now. Fuck this recording.
Yeah, fuck it.
Just Kesha.
Good night, everybody.
Just
No.
Kesha.
Anyway, I have a really high standard for authenticity, and I am repulsed by pop music as a rule, and I didn't find her terrible. It's I don't know. I could be wrong.
Well,
I could
you
be
can live
fucking
that
way off
life,
base.
right? That pop star life.
Yeah.
And then write music about it. Like, man, Gaga's legit.
Gaga is someone I think is so far up her own ass. She's like, honestly, and it's a damn shame the tour never happened because it would have been something for the record books. Kanye West. Gaga is Kanye West. She just hasn't melted down.
Yeah.
She's so far up her own ass.
But Gaga's
And
good. And so is Kanye.
I know that. But they're insane.
yeah.
It takes away from it when they're just so full of themselves. Like,
yeah.
okay,
I mean, there's
great.
a point where you gotta stop when you become crazy, right? Like,
Yeah, because your art just consumes you, and that's life mimicking art. So now
Yeah.
you've got this idea not just of how you ought to look and whatever, but you've literally got an idea about yourself.
yeah, like you're the piece of art. Like you should be. Yeah, it's messed up, eh?
Well, one of my favorites, and I'm going to butcher his last name, is Theodore Girault. Girault? He's French.
Okay, I don't know.
He, from what I've read, was consumed by his art and what he wanted to depict through his art.
Right.
One of my favorite paintings, the Raft of the Medusa,
Yeah.
was
It's dope.
partially what drove him insane, among many other things. Like he did some fucked up shit with his stepmom, but
Yeah.
It was he
You got
banged-
websites that'll pay good money for that now.
Oh God.
Well, this is from he was born in 1790. But anyways, that's not important. So part of the creating and depicting what happened with the raft of the Medusa, because it actually happened. There were people on a ship, and the upper class were given the rafts, like the nice rafts, dinghies to go back, and then the poor schmucks were left on a in shambles raft.
So that would be us.
Yeah, that was barely afloat because of how many people are on it. However,
Right, okay.
so of course there was death and many other things, but it consumed him. The I don't want to say the atrocities, but humans trying to survive. They were desperate. So right at the bat, cannibalism happened and whatnot. So part of what he did, he had a friend, I believe he either worked in the morgue or in the insane asylum,
Creepy.
who was able to get him human body parts. And what he would do is he would literally lay them throughout his flat and watch them decay. And he
The
would
fucking body parts?
That's
so he could
fucked, man.
he can paint the color of decayed human flesh.
Okay, that's fucked
That's
up.
devotion.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's somebody who's getting enthralled in his art. Now, he also took it to another step where he started painting people who were in the insane asylums of the time. I believe he did like 10 and only 5 survived. But anyways, so he started to draw these people who are mentally afflicted with some sort of psychosis. There was one about a woman who had a gambling addiction and whatnot. And then to take it another step, he shaved his own head. And back in the day when someone whose head was shaven, they were like, stay away from them. That person's not well, whether they be sick like bodily or sick mentally. He did that to himself to, again, get into the mind of these people who are afflicted with these problems.
So I know I made this joke earlier, but it's like the same thing that happened to Heath Ledger.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, he got so involved in his art, it destroyed him.
Yeah.
So like Heath Ledger, sorry, kind of both relatable here. That's method acting, right? Or is that
Yes, method acting.
That's- that's
to
what
the-
that
Daniel
to the
Day-Lewis.
nth degree.
So when an artist,
Yeah. You're
When-
just looking for a way to get Daniel Day-Lewis in here.
about-
No, he is
needed
a fucking
mention-
man.
he
He
is
is
the
a
man.
fucking man.
so would that be like
Method
art?
arting?
Method arting then? Yeah,
Well, you know
what I mean? That is some shit.
He wanted to depict rotting human flesh, so he's like, I will
Watch this rotting
I will
human
watch
flesh.
this human flesh rot, and I'll
But
get the
that's what
colors
I
just
mean.
right.
Like, okay, so someone who uses real world, like you were saying, nature or whatever, not nature, life, as inspiration for art. Is that kind of like, as opposed to somebody who goes off the mind?
Well, he used the actual event for his inspiration, but it just fucked him up because he's like, how can people do this to each other?
And then he got so immersed in it, right?
Yeah.
So he did the body part thing after he kind of went a little crazy from painting. Like
Well,
it was during that painting.
It
he
was
did
during that painting,
Okay.
yeah. It was the event happened, and he starts to lose it, going, how can humans do this to each other? First off, the abandoning their own people.
Yeah.
Because as far as
Right.
I'm just gonna kind of go off the wall a little bit. As far as he was concerned, we're all people. Class shouldn't be a thing. That's what I'm thinking. Because he's just so disgusted by people like, you know what, lower class. Here's a nice little raft. Good fucking luck. So that part's kind of sensible. I was like, how can they do that? Now I'm going to depict the pain and everything that they went through. And they were eventually discovered, and he even depicts that in his painting. Like, oh, it's just amazing.
I didn't mean to take this here, but that is even still a metaphor for how the world continues to work. We're all on the fucking raft of the Medusa, and our quality of life might be significantly better than it would have been, when he was painting this. Was
Right.
a few hundred years ago.
It's late 1700s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still the same thing. It's we get what's left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very, just like that painting you brought up earlier, the Ghost of Vimy.
So, Mickey, you bring up a really fucking interesting point because honestly, I'm a mega empathetic person, and I don't say that as a positive. I've read a lot on empathy, and I'm kind of at a point now where I think it might not be that great. So, if I stayed in that room and let that affect me, that could have fucking ruined my day, and I would have if I didn't empirically know. There's this fucking gigantic museum that I want to see everything
Yeah.
of. I could have sat in that room for hours
Right.
because, like, I get into art, even though I don't necessarily know a hell of a lot about it,
No,
like
but-
visual art. Like if I go to a museum or something, I'm in. I'm not gonna go around, get my photo ops, and just fucking dip. What?
Can I ask? Because I know the answer for myself. Do you like things that make you feel sad, or weird, or like small?
I love things that make me feel small.
Right. So did that painting that you saw, like, did that make you feel kind of small? Put things in a bigger perspective? Was any of those emotions like? I like to say that I'm like almost addicted to sadness. Like I listen to sad music when I work out.
Huh.
Or stuff. I love sad music. I just love it.
It's powerful.
Yeah. I like
It's
the power.
powerful in a way that no other kind of music is.
So I'm only asking because when, like you say, you don't know much about visual arts, and neither do I. But when I see something that strikes those feelings like that music
Yeah.
does, I could sit in that room for hours and just look at it.
Yeah, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that. I think
Okay.
it's just the easiest one to process.
Music?
Sadness.
Sadness. I'm sorry.
Right. Okay.
But you can look at fucking utter carnage and be in disbelief, you know. But that painting particularly, it's not gory, it's not gratuitous.
Right.
It's just, it's like a fucking
powerful.
hammer. It's powerful.
Powerful. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I would agree with that sentiment.
Like
Yeah.
sadness doesn't have to be anything relating to death or
No,
anything like that.
there
It can
are a
just
million
be,
ways to be sad.
Oh yeah. Okay. I'm just curious because when I saw that, I tried to envision myself in the room with it.
Oh, I got chills as soon as I saw it.
And what
That's
I,
heavy.
Yeah.
my
it's
my
heavy.
eyes were directly brought to the outline of what are the soldiers.
Yeah.
I was,
I-
woo.
I just felt like hollow, like smallness.
Yeah,
Hollowness.
man.
Yeah. Sorry.
and
Anyway, sadness. Too.
No, but I really think
Sorrow.
that's beautiful, in a kind of Neil deGrasse Tyson way. Things that make you feel small help you understand, and I think that's
totally.
I think that's good.
It's a big step of understanding who you are
Sure.
and
yeah.
and your place in the world, maybe even the universe. If you want to get that big.
I think to just barely overstep the bounds of this conversation, I think people who have a problem with feeling small have all of the problems in the world, because the world should make you feel small, and if you don't understand that, and you don't even have to understand why it's good. You can have a problem with being small, but if you don't understand that you are small, you're a fucking asshole.
You're gonna go buy a big truck and lift it.
Yeah,
No.
put some truck nuts on there.
Yeah.
Truck nuts.
Chad.
Tad. Hey man, it's Chad and Tad and the lifted Chevy.
No, I like the emotive experiences that let me disappear.
Explain.
When something is so powerful, I not even that I necessarily lose myself in it, but I just lose myself entirely, and all there is that piece.
Right.
That painting was one of those things, because it's got a message, but it's also got a command, in that it tells you where to go
Right.
if you're listening.
I can see that.
But one of my favorite all-time quotes, and I just happen to have it written on this book right here, it's from Chris Moore in a book called Lamb. It's a piss take on the life of Jesus as told by his wisecracking best friend. It's a funny book,
Okay.
but it does have some gems in it too. And he's talking about reading the Gospels, having been there, but he doesn't remember them like the Gospels are written.
Okay.
So he says he reads them, and I dream of blood and suffering and loneliness so empty an echo can't survive.
Ooh.
That gives me fucking chills every time I read it, and I've read it 100 times.
I was just gonna ask if you ever get chills.
Oh,
with
I
things.
just got chills,
Yeah.
and I just fucking read it.
Yeah.
It's just so fucking good.
It
you know,
resonates,
it's
right?
profound.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It like
Yeah, that is
touches
good.
the waves of the universe.
It makes waves in the universe.
That's what I'm saying, dog.
It's crazy. If you even think about how art impacts people and makes people feel, the good, the bad, even the addiction to the sad parts of it.
Yeah. Why do we listen to Brand New
Yeah, I know, right? Or Radiohead, or like
or The Cure?
The Cure.
Why
right?
is The Cure a band?
Right? It's just like
Good Charlotte.
Because I feel like people like to
I'm just naming bands now.
people like to feel sad together. So with music,
Yeah.
feels like you're sad with somebody else.
One quick thing, since there were some quotes going around, one that I've been sitting on for about a week, really kind of ties in with art and finding who we are and stuff like that.
Okay.
This,
Like in finding an ideal.
yes, and finding an ideal and what we are as human beings and what we are as our person inside of a human being.
Okay, so
And our
who said it?
Who said it was, I'm going to have to get back to you on that because I only have the quote in front of me.
All right.
Man is the only creature who refuses to be what he is. We're always constantly trying to change. We always want to be something different. We always want to be not who we are. Like,
Right.
Well, that-
slick, if I may.
Is that life imitating art? Like, are you trying to hit an ideal there?
Well, and just now reading this, it kind of makes me go back to you, Slick, when you were saying in your party days, and you would think of those artists and their party lifestyle, like, oh yeah, that's what I want to be. I want to do that. It kind of just make that kind of
Read that one more time.
Man is the only creature who refuses to be what he
Okay,
is,
yeah.
or she.
Yeah, you know what? Okay, relating to that, I heard something or read something a while ago. So I
Already
can't
don't
remember.
believe this story.
Yeah, I know, right? It could just be a dream or just Mitch science.
Mitch Science, I like
Classic
that.
Mitch Science. That's a thing, Mickey. That's an old thing.
That's
Is
an
it?
old thing.
Oh, damn. Albert Camus apparently said that
Oh,
quote, by
okay.
the way.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, humans wake up. I think everybody wants to create. I think it's just kind of, I don't think maybe necessarily you're good at it,
Like procreate.
but yeah, and create. Just anything. People just like doing things, right?
I think you're speaking as a creator. I don't think that's necessarily true. There's a lot of people
Okay,
who
so
don't have
say-
that impulse.
Say, yeah, true,
Well,
right?
how about
they're-
that gentleman that you guys work
Maybe
with?
it's because they're just deprived of it, right? Like maybe something happened in their life and now they just don't want to do it anymore. I don't know. I think everyone's kind of has it deep down and provided the right circumstances it could come out. Not all, I'm not saying everyone's a songwriter, right? But in different aspects.
But there could be a
different
certain
aspects.
song out there
But
that
we-
might make them look at music differently.
Do you think you automatically get creative when you find the thing it is you're passionate
Yes,
about?
and even if it's like building businesses or whatever it is,
Yeah.
because you can still be good at that and look at it artistically, and if chances are if you're good at it and creative at it, you're going to be successful at it, no matter
Well,
what it is.
I like that point.
So, with that point, humans love. I think are meant to create, whether it be like empires or songs, anything. Create something from nothing. That's just what humans do. But now we're kind of in this time where we got to work, right? We got to wake up. We got to go to work. We got to do stuff because we got to pay bills, and it kind of all relates. So I wonder what it's going to be like when technology eventually takes over everybody's job, and what are all the humans going to do?
Well, I think I spoke about this in a previous episode where people who live in like third world countries particularly, where they're working like these 10, 12-hour plus days, they were given more time off and they started making businesses, inventing
doing-
things. So I think there's going to be the people who will just fully take advantage of, I have to do nothing all day and I get my food and my shelter and my warmth and I'm good. People will take advantage of that for sure, but I think there's going to be a great amount of people who will take that time off that they have to create too, because like maybe they get bored and go, I need
Yeah.
to do something, but maybe that 75-year-old who's like, I always want to play guitar. I don't have to fucking work anymore. I don't have to worry about money. I'm going to pick up a guitar.
Yeah, no,
And then he
no.
dies a
Okay,
few
so
years
the
later.
point's not really even about the creators. It's about
Okay.
what you said, the quote.
Oh,
about
okay, okay.
being. Just about being what you are. Even if you are a lazy piece of crap, but you're allowed to now enjoy your life how you want it because you don't have to work for money and all this shit.
Yeah.
You can be who you are with no shame. You know what I mean? But no one should feel you can't look in a society like that. Anyway.
I don't actually agree with that, and I'm not just trying to be difficult. I don't think that's true, because if you look at the base impulses of where people go, especially when they do have tons of money and free time, it's rarely to a creative place. They often turn into pieces of shit.
Yes.
So I think the
Lars.
natural impulse is to ease. It's to sloth. It's to gluttony, and
But-
that's all of our old fucking savannah neurons firing, where they still tell you to find these things that mean food and shelter and safety, even though you don't need them anymore.
Right.
I think the base nature of the human is not geared to creativity.
So what is it geared to?
Survival.
Survival. Well, yeah, survival. But
Survival, minimizing energy
survival's
demands.
all about creativity, dude.
No, I don't.
See,
You don't
though,
believe that survival's about creativity.
No,
there
You don't
was
think
a-
it's about critical thinking, problem solving, being
I don't think
creative and handling.
I think critical thinking is the opposite of creativity.
There was I was listening to the radio and they were talking about how humans are very curious.
Yeah.
And as much as curiosity may have killed the cat, why hasn't it done the same for humans? Why are we here? And why are we here today by this person he believes is because of our curiosity. Because we go, what's this? What can we do?
Yeah,
and
but
then
curiosity is not creativity.
No, but it's maybe the curiosity thing is like, okay, we're going back to way back. I want to get that coconut down out of the tree. You go like, what is that up there? I want it. And then maybe the creativity comes from how do I get it down without my fucking killing myself?
To say that problem solving is the same thing as creativity is a fallacy. I understand where they can run parallel, but they're not the same fucking thing.
I don't know.
It's hard. No, I see what he's saying.
I do too.
I want to say, like, my mind is saying, yeah, of course problem solving is the same as creativity, but like, yeah, it's not though. Maybe you have to have a bit of creativity to maybe think of how can I solve the problem, but is it really creativity?
But what I mean is to analyze something and to look at different angles and even to think differently. I mean, kind of creative there, but it doesn't necessarily mean you've created anything. I don't think they're the same
So
thing.
you think that creativity needs to involve something being created out of your creativity, and a problem solved is not necessarily a creative aspect?
I think I would more or less agree with that, yes.
Okay, so like the invention of all main things, right? Like that's creativity though.
But
Inventors are creative, right?
inventors...
Are creating something?
No, not necessarily.
You don't think inventors are creative?
No, you're putting this fucking whimsy to them, dude. That doesn't necessarily apply. Many inventors just learned some shit and then applied some shit. It's not necessarily
That's what I do with
earth-shattering.
music.
No, but there's
I learn some shit and I apply some shit.
But there's an impulse there. An
And
inventor might invent 5 things in their entire life. You need to create.
What if they need to invent? How do you know? You're not an inventor.
But inventors invent to address a problem.
That's true.
Okay. But you can get creative. You're still You don't think an inventor is creating something in a creative way to solve a problem?
I don't think it's a
So what if
requisite.
my problem-
I think they can,
Okay.
but I don't think they're the same
So
thing.
what if my need to create dope ass music is because my problem is everybody else is creating shit, so I'm really creating a product to solve a problem.
Oh my goodness! Like Kevin Smith, if they're not gonna make the movie, I'm gonna make it.
I know that's not true, though. So
No, I'm
nice
just
try.
saying, but people think like that. What if that's their drive? You know what I mean? Like, no.
I think to even recognize that as a problem, you've probably already got the
Cooking.
impulse
Is cooking
in you.
creative?
Not necessarily.
You don't think cooking... Okay, not necessarily explain that. If you're cooking grilled cheese, it's not. But if you're doing an extravagant ass dish, it can be, right? Is that what you mean?
It doesn't have to be
Or if you're
extravagant.
creating a dish.
I can cook. I am a creative person. I have zero. My cooking has no creativity to it.
That's, I feel like, untrue, because if you fed that to somebody who's never had
Nah,
those
bro.
things...
It just means it's different.
Right.
If I throw a bunch of shit on a piece of naan
So then
bread
what
and
the
call
fuck
it
is
a pizza,
creativity then? If it's not being different or original or...
I don't care. I don't care about what is creativity. I care about what is art.
Okay.
And if you're trying to just, which has kind of been your point the entire time, that just everything is art, then I'm gonna fucking kill you.
I'm waiting to die.
Stop.
That's it. That's the whole point of this.
Yeah. No, but I do legitimately think that in a little piece of everything, there is art. In inventing, there is art. In problem solving, there is art. There's an art to looking at a problem and solving it. Because some people can do that and some people cannot.
There's a method. It doesn't mean it's art.
My old job was nothing but problem solving.
But the method can be broken.
Yeah, sure. It can be broken. You use a different method.
Right. So you're creating a method.
Well, hold on.
You're creating a bunch of bullshit.
Hold on.
Right now.
So
I know, but I love it.
My old job was sales. Yeah. I had to convince people to either buy something or that what they wanted to buy is what they needed.
Worst kind of person.
But I always wanted to make sure it was what they needed. However, you said there's a different method. Okay, my method was kind of like the slow. I would educate them and make sure they understood what they were doing.
Right.
But then there's the pushy salesperson who has to meet quotas. It's just another method.
Yeah.
Creative, I don't think so. I think it's just a lot of bullshit. Which is something that I can say where, again, I've been in retail. I was in retail for a very long time, and I can sniff out bullshit from a fucking mile away. As soon as I walk into a store, he goes, "Oh, hey," no, I know exactly what you're gonna pull on me. Just let me shop.
Just let me fucking look. Right? Yeah.
But
What's the point?
But in no way, I don't think that is creative.
No, that's not. What the fuck was the point of that? I was talking about like people.
Yeah, but you're talking about methods.
I'm talking about the inner workings of a human, what the desire, it is meant to be human.
So like what I want to know is
art.
What is art to you?
Okay.
Not can everything be art? I don't fucking care.
If you can visualize something in your mind, take it from your world and transpose it into the physical world successfully,
like magic.
That is art. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's writing out a fucking hockey play and it works perfect, like you envisioned it, that's fucking art, man. That is like, you look at something like that and you're like, that's art. It doesn't happen all the time. I'm not saying it happens at every pee-wee fucking game across Ontario. But when you do see it, like you watch hockey and very rarely will you see something executed so well, you're like, holy fuck, that is like that's art on ice, right? Or if it's like somebody inventing something or building something, you know? If it's a piece of furniture, it can be art.
I just refuse to give hockey players this much credit.
I know, right?
See,
you don't want to, but I mean, dude, there are some...
I really don't think it's that, because I think you're talking about analytics. Or, versus art, and I don't think they're this fucking same thing. That doesn't make sense.
What do you mean?
Seeing patterns and manipulating them, I don't think is art.
Thank you.
Seeing patterned, okay.
Fucking sexy little
so
Welshman.
pattern art is not art.
No. I said seeing patterns and manipulating them is not art.
Okay, so
is not necessarily
not
art.
necessarily art.
Obviously, music is just a bunch of fucking patterns.
Yes,
but
like
that's different.
But that is different because you're creating something.
Okay.
Outside of like, okay, these guys have been doing this with their plays constantly.
So
let's do something different.
So producing with loop, pre-looped samples that you buy, is that art? Putting those loops together.
In an extremely shallow sense, that can still be art.
Why? Because it's music.
Hold on, I'll take a step back.
Because you're expressing something.
Okay, now if
manipulating colors onto a piece of paper.
Yeah,
but that does not. You're expressing something. You can express emotion during physical activity, during sport. You don't think there's emotion in that sport?
Yeah, aggression.
Just like you live to write, some people live to play, right?
That doesn't make it art.
If we're talking about relaying our physical or our feelings to the physical world, then yes, it does.
Beating somebody over the head.
No, because being passionate about something doesn't make it art.
Professional sports is entertainment. Movies are entertainment.
Yeah,
Music is entertainment. Why is movie an art or a play or figure skating or dance, but hockey isn't? Or basketball? Why is that not a form of art, but all of these other things are?
To be the middle person here, I think there might be a lot of objectivity to sports for you and I, Fresh. Hold on.
Sorry, I got the Holy Grail.
I think our adverse ideas of art of sports, I can't swallow. If someone could write out like a 20-page paper and make it sense that it's art, I probably couldn't swallow.
Listen,
it's not even that, because yes, I do think that sports people are up their own asses about sports, but I'm up my own ass about art too. But I don't have any preconceptions that sports can't be beautiful.
Okay, I found
That's
the medium.
fine.
Here's the medium. Martial arts. Is it a sport or is it an art?
It's a form of meditation for some people.
I don't know.
There you go.
It was Bruce Lee an artist?
You know why this conversation is extremely important? Because it solidifies all of our views on the impact of art, how it can impact different people and how they look at what art actually is throughout the world, right? Because people are going to look at what art is, the definition of art, differently, clearly, than other people. That's an important thing to realize, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
Just of how widespread art is and how impactful it could be. I mean, just because you don't classify something as art doesn't mean it's not.
Is art a perception? Just something that everybody...
That's what I think it is. It's a perception to your own self. If you consider... If you relay your
I'm just
feelings
I'm just
into
throwing it
the
out there,
physical
man.
world, I believe that that is a form of art. So if you go out on the ice and you play hockey and you find a zen that way...
So if I say, hey man, you're being a dick right now, is that
Yeah.
art?
It's expressionism,
of
that's
heckling,
for sure.
the art of heckling.
No, not necessarily you. Like I mean, like if someone's being a dick and I relay my feelings into the physical world, is that fucking art?
No, okay.
Oh!
Well, no, it is because
What?
it's speech. So there you go. Everything everybody says is art. You want to fucking go down that route?
I think Slick just wants everything to be beautiful in an art way.
I'm not saying every hockey play is a fucking piece of art. I'm not saying every hockey player is an artist. I'm not saying any of that shit. But I'm saying that it can be.
Can be.
It can be related that way. The greats seen like there are LeBron James, bro. LeBron James. He looks at basketball a lot differently than other people. I mean, there are the other guys who are up there
'cause
too.
He's taller than them.
Yeah, but not all of them. And he's still better than them. Do you know what I mean? There's just people who get it. They can create something out of thin air. You hear about guys who can create plays out of nothing. Like where
Is the creation of sports an art?
the creation? Yeah, for sure it is.
You know, why do
Creating
you
a sport.
ask? Everything's an art.
If you sit down and you create a fucking sport, yeah,
I'm
it's
gonna go.
art.
I'm gonna go shit my pants, and it's gonna be art.
What
Yeah,
was
you
it?
get those
It was
feelings out, buddy.
It was Zoolander. It's like talking about Mugatu. It's like he could shit
But
wrapped in
that's-
tinfoil,
okay,
and the Queen of
but
England would
that's
wear him his
why-
earrings.
That's why I brought that question up. Because if everything can be art, you should be able to ask that person if you're good or if they're shit. If are you good or are you shit? Because you can be shit at your art.
It can be.
Yeah, of
You
course.
could be the best fucking hockey player ever, but love photography, but you're dog shit at photography. But you're still good at a different kind of art form, a different kind of expression. Right?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, see? There's a lot of gray areas in this fucking thing. In this conversation.
It's a lot of fucking red areas. 'Cause that's all I'm seeing right now.
But you're just classifying art into the visual and music and just the arts.
I may be able to bring up somebody who kind of threw art in artists' faces.
Yeah.
Saying like,
you
oh,
should.
you think everything's art? There you go. Here's some fucking art for you.
Okay.
So-
let's have that, please.
Marcel Duchamp,
Mm-hmm.
famously known for taking a men's urinal,
Yep.
putting it on its side,
Yep.
and signing it with a fake name.
Yep.
Threw that in an art gallery.
Yeah.
And now you have all these, people who enjoy art and expression are looking at it going, this, that, next thing, and thinking all these great things. And all he did was pretty much, as far as I'm concerned with that, had a big middle finger to the art community.
Okay. Going back to what
Say,
I
like-
said earlier in this
Okay.
podcast, art is art and bullshit is bullshit.
But this is an artist
Oh.
who has
Oh
art.
no, he's expressing himself there.
No, he's not. This is a fucking social experiment. That's
No,
what this is.
you are fucking tanking everything you said.
No,
Hold
I
on.
am not. Because
Hold
I
on.
specifically said that not everything everybody does in these fields is art.
But what he did as an artist told the art community that not everything is
Yes.
everything artistic made by an artist by someone with a name behind it makes it art.
Right.
He took something so bland and ordinary. Like people are looking at it going, "Wow, he's so this, he's so that." He's like, I've played you.
I don't think you guys are understanding what I'm saying. In any aspect of light, oh my God, if in any aspect of life, there can be art. That doesn't mean that art is in every aspect of life. Okay? So just by like this urinal, this guy's an artist saying that not everything is art.
Yeah.
Correct. Art is art and bullshit is bullshit. So if you get a guy who's just going in and putting fucking popsicle sticks and glue together with some sparkles and trying to sell it for $20,000, that's bullshit. That's not art. He's doing art, but he's not.
No, he had an
art.
idea in his head that he manifested in the physical world. Sounds like art to me.
Okay.
Sounds like art to me, according to your fucking definition.
All right, fine. That's literally, I've said it like 18 times that not everything.
If I may, though, when we bring up...
If it's true to you, is what I'm saying. If it's true to you and you are doing it and you feel it and believe it and you're good at it and you love it, that is art. I'm not saying every fucking hockey player is an artist at hockey, but that guy who sees it differently, who loves it, who lives and breathes it.
You did say that because
I did. I said it a million times that not everyone is fucking an artist at it, but I think everybody has the power to create, but they just do different things. So not everybody finds what they're good at or what they're meant to do because they're not given the opportunity a lot.
That's a separate point, but I definitely
but
agree
it ties
with that.
in. The people who find what they are meant to do and jive with it so well that they do extremely well with it, they're artists at their crafts. They've mastered their craft.
I feel like you're a bleeding heart for people who want to feel like they're artists, but they're not. But you're like,
No,
you're an artist, you got it.
Not in
a bad way. Not in a bad way. Like I respect that.
I hate those people who think that they're good at what they're doing, but they
not
have
necessarily.
no creativity.
I mean, like let's just say the big hockey guy. We're gonna bring back to the hockey player who he does so well, but and then he goes, "Oh, is what I'm doing anything other than the sport?" You know what? I think what I'm doing is art. But what I'm saying is like you have like a bleeding heart for people to believe that what they're doing is art, so they feel like they're adding to society in a creative level. When maybe, to Fresh and I, we may not see that. You know what I mean?
Now, is that just because you're closed-minded?
No. What I'm saying is kind of like when we were.
I actually, I'm not even with you here, Mickey, because I don't. Sorry, bro.
I'm not relaying what I'm thinking very well.
No, because I don't think. And I think we established this pretty early. I don't think that anything about whether something is art or whether it's good art necessarily has to do with anyone else's perception of it.
Okay.
Which is...
Well, that's what I've been saying. Your perception... That's literally what I've just been saying. Is art is perception from the person that is making the art.
The way you were saying it sounded like you had such a conviction that it's fucking art. Shut up. You know what I mean?
It can be art is what I've been saying.
Okay.
It can be art. It is not always art. Just like there are some trash ass fucking Nickelbackers out there. That just because they make music doesn't mean they're art.
Careful now.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I offended many people. But you know what I'm saying? Like, not all musicians are fucking artists. I know. I've heard music. You're like, what the fuck is that? There's nothing there. It's hollow.
So, would somebody who plays in an orchestra not be an artist? They didn't write the music. They're just playing an instrument. That just sparked right in my head there.
That ain't bullshit, though.
No, but they're not. As far as I'm concerned, if they're not adding anything, they're adding their emotion. How?
Through playing it, because they're another fucking person.
No, but they're given sheet music that they didn't write. Are they artists or are they just musicians? Just to point out that not all musicians are artists.
That's what I'm
saying to you. That was like the question I posed.
But the people who can relay their feelings successfully through doing that, I think are artists.
If you plot me down with a violin and I just play sheet music, I'm just doing my job.
Yeah,
I'm not necessarily an artist. I picked up the violin. I played for many years, and now I'm in an orchestra.
No, but this is like what Slick was saying earlier. You're in the community.
Yeah, there's a community now.
This is now a community project.
But maybe you are an artist. A lot of these people probably write their own fucking music and shit.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I'm not looking to dive deep into the person. Just all they did, they studied their whole life just to be in an orchestra. Is that act of playing an orchestra an art? I don't think so. I think you're following the lead. I'm not dismissing their talent.
Mm-hmm.
They're like
talent and art are different.
You know what I mean? Like, so. Again, if you want to dive a little deeper, maybe they do write outside. Okay, that aspect of what they do, that's the art.
I'm with you.
But to sit down in an orchestra that a conductor wrote, that you just play, I don't think that's art. What he wrote is art, or she wrote.
The translation of it, though. That's the fucking key. And
But the person playing is not the artist. They're just the musician.
right, but they're the translator. So
Okay.
there has to be a form of
But the
art
music
in it.
itself is the art.
Yes.
But the person doing it is not the
But
artist.
they're doing the okay. See this?
Okay, this point is tired.
Okay.
Yeah,
This point is very tired.
but
I'm tired. I'm just kidding. I'm
yeah,
pretty fucking
it
energetic.
can get deep
Deep.
because then you go to translating emotion from another artist. It gets
The
fucking
Teenage
gray.
Mutant Ninja Turtles are named after Renaissance artists.
They're dope.
Assess.
Pardon?
What does that mean?
That the rat had an affiliation for the arts.
You were looking for affinity there.
Affinity, thank you. Affinity for the arts. Affiliation. I don't know.
It's like, what does that mean?
Speaking of, I don't know. What does it mean? Like with my interpretation of it,
Yeah.
I could give like 0 fucks. I honestly have never thought about it until right now. Really,
Well,
like I've noticed it, and I'm just like cool because like I know
Yeah.
who they are, but like
Because every kid growing up,
probably just someone who created it.
You know
like
what,
those
though?
Artists. I don't know.
I would like
or were
to
they just like trying to fucking masturbate themselves and be like, look how worldly I am.
maybe.
though. Just
You created them.
I want to actually after this I'm going to go home and do a little research on the personality types because Leonardo, purple one, he invents
Leonardo
things.
was the blue one.
What? Who's the purple one?
Donatello.
No, then my thoughts out of the fucking window. So. Never fucking mind.
Mickey, I can deal with a lot of bullshit, but
3
you
guys
not
and
knowing
bullshit.
the Ninja Turtles?
Oh, I know. It's fuck.
I don't know. We can be
Man,
friends. dog.
speaking of the Ninja Turtles and art, you ever see those fucking live action movies?
Yeah, that's art.
Oh yeah, it's
Explosions.
fucking art.
Michael Bay?
Jesus, Murphy.
Explosions, art.
What are you talking about?
He did the latest TMNT. Didn't he do the latest one?
Oh,
Yeah, he did. It's,
okay.
It's
I think he produced it. He
Wow,
didn't direct it.
yeah. I've
Well,
never
if
seen
he
it.
produced it, he said more explosions.
Well,
We need things that boom. We need
there's
fire.
only 400 explosions in the first 30 minutes. We need more.
More cowbell.
Touching on movies, though, I mean,
Yeah. So, can cinema be an art form? I mean, that addresses the group, the collaborative aspect of it, because there are very, very, very few movies that were
Yeah.
ever made by one person.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, you might need an artistic vision. You know, you've got your auteurs from the
Sure.
earlier years. Even still, they're still out there, but
yeah.
you got to get a lot from a lot of people.
Just because there's because I said that earlier doesn't mean that it's. Man, see, it's such a gray
I
area.
think movies might be one of the few times where a collaborative work can be art from every individual person involved, almost.
Well, okay,
What about bands?
I said one of the few. I didn't say the only.
Okay.
I said one of the few.
fair.
So
you did say that.
where you said you have your creative director. The director is pushing forward. We're gonna do this. Well, I want to really do this. Then you have your actors. Those are your artists, and sometimes they put in their points. Go, oh hey, I feel like my character would. Okay, we'll try that.
Yeah.
You have your the people who set up to do the sets. Like you go back far enough. Background sets were all hand painted.
Yeah.
The old. I love bringing up Star Wars. The old Star Wars. Those were all miniatures. Like there's
Yeah,
a lot
that's why
of
they were way fucking sweeter.
right? So, I can reinstate my point. I think that's one of the points where art collaboratively in movies. I need to structure my sentences better.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel Day-Lewis. No, art definitely, cinema is definitely a form of art. It's
One of my
just
favorites.
that is such a big task to tackle alone that
It is.
it's impossible.
Yeah.
But there's bullshit in cinema.
I
because
think cinema is actually a really easy example of how art can be bad because you
yeah.
can look at like propaganda type stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like
American Sniper.
fucking- Like what?
American Sniper. That was a movie. It was
I mean,
very-
he fucking blows a kid's head off. I think they kind of shade the point in on that one.
that's what we're gonna go off of when we say propaganda is the
Yeah.
American Sniper. That's
was
the
gonna bring
first
up
fucking thing that jumps in your
Goebbels'
mind.
position in the Nazi Party.
The which? Sorry.
Joseph Goebbels' position in the Nazi
No,
Party.
I missed the
and
first
you
part.
go to American Sniper.
American Sniper with BradleyCooper. Jesus.
It's propaganda.
You killed Slick.
Oh my God, man.
Mickey, this is why you're here. This shit right here.
So propaganda,
Mickey.
man, like American Sniper.
I've actually, honestly, one of my bigger bullshit moments. I've actually never seen the movie, so
Seen American Sniper.
I was taking
Oh my
taking
God,
a
it
jump
feels
there. I
like
was like,
we're
oh please God, this be something. There.
American, you just
Yeah.
brought that
Oh,
up.
I know. It was
Oh man,
low Mickey moment.
that is fucking gold.
I mean, America.
He's never seen it. He
I was taking a leap here.
Propaganda, American Sniper. What the fuck? Okay, anyway, leap fucking failed.
Mickey
Thank
does, or Mickey, America does wave their flag pretty hard.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
They milk that sentiment.
That's just funny as hell. Anyway,
That was fucking great.
that is I love you, man.
Yeah,
I
whatever.
fucking
Fuck
love
it.
you.
Cinema's a thing. Cool.
Yeah, whatever.
Not like I said.
but
Communications.
propaganda.
For 6
You
years.
were right. Say that shit. What you were gonna say? The Nazis.
Well, you would have to, like, Goebbels was a legitimate filmmaker back in the day, and I don't know because we didn't study his shit, but he was out there competing. He at least saw himself on the level as other like top-notch filmmakers
Right.
of his day. So I mean that's a prime example of art being used for bad. But does the bad use of the art disqualify the art?
Absolutely not. I think it's important to say this isn't blank because it's bad. I think is very careless on a society level. I think it's extremely important to understand that yes, it is a form of art. It is a bad form of not necessarily a bad form of art. It sends a bad message, but it's important that we understand it and study it.
Yeah, because there's certainly expression, there's certainly creativity. I think even Slick would agree that it's art.
Oh yeah. Funny. Yeah, it's bad art.
No, it's not. It's not bad art. It's art for bad.
Well, what if I don't enjoy the movies? Then it's not.
Well, that's just you not enjoying the movie.
Maybe it's bad art then. Maybe it's shot with shitty angles. I don't know. No. Yeah. Okay.
There are inherently bad movies. Like we're not dismissing
that's
that.
bad.
Yeah.
But just because a movie you don't like doesn't
But
make it not a good movie.
Yeah, I'm not
or a
even
bad
talking
movie.
about bad
No,
art.
no,
I'm
I
talking
understand.
about art for bad.
I
for
was
bad.
just
Yeah.
making shit, trying to make shit funny. I'm not funny. Anyway,
You're funny.
art for bad. I'm gonna take this ahead a couple fucking decades here.
Good, do it.
But nowadays, art for bad. All these fucking like these rappers and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like now that we've talked about the impact that art and artists have on people
Yeah.
and society in general, what they relay through like social media now and stuff, like it's kind of fucked up what people think is like acceptable, in my eyes at least.
But do you think? I'll stay with the extreme example. So Nazi propaganda,
Yeah.
which is obviously
That's-
slanted. It's obviously got a dedicated angle. It's trying to reinforce things in its own population.
Right.
Is the modern shit as bad as that? Is it even the same?
No. It's completely different. It's almost like self-inflicting, right? Like it's not a mastermind plot kind of thing. Like it's not
Or
like
is it? That's for
Or-
that's for another day.
That's another day. Yeah, or is it? No,
Yeah.
seriously, who fucking knows? But
Give Slick another joint. and
it's
it'll be
almost
for
like
right now.
self-inflicted. Like, oh, I've seen this person do this, and now I really want to. Like, it impacted me in a way. Now I want to kind of be like that for some reason.
Is it kind of like those internet challenges that people do? Or are you kind of
It's-
thinking about those
anything.
things?
And that's not art. But
No,
I'm more
but-
talking about the artists themselves, like the way these people, like the
Portray
way they call
themselves?
people out,
Oh.
like the way they talk to people and disrespect. Like, there's no like, I don't know, like there's a level of being
No, but
a
you can
dick.
hold on. You can be fucking Chris Brown,
Right.
but your music is not necessarily made with a bad intention.
Right.
Regardless of whether music's good
Yeah.
or bad. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's different. Whether the artist is a dick or not is a different point.
No, I know,
Well,
but I'm going
that's
back to
saying
what
in
you
itself.
said though earlier about how the antics are now kind of part of it.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah. When
How
they
it's
go
now
up
part of
all
their whole
asses.
image. It's
Yes.
a lifestyle,
Yeah.
right? That's the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah,
It's
fuck.
Well, that's
it's
art
all
for bad.
influential.
That's taking something that we enjoy in music, for example,
Like, why-
and projecting a negative lifestyle.
And this is the thing. Why is it okay? You got a 17-year-old fucking kid
Let's get
rapping.
it.
Let's get it. Right, rapping about weed, pounds of weed and shit, and drinking lean out of a fucking cup, and he's driving like a $200,000 fucking car. The kid's 17.
Fuck
And
my teacher called tutoring.
What fucking adults are like, oh yeah, this is a good idea. Let's give this to the masses. Right?
The people
what
who
the
are...
fuck is that? That's the question. Let's
That
give
is
that
a
to the
very
fucking
good
masses,
question.
right? Oh yeah, this is great art. This is amazing art, and it's gonna impact people in a positive way. No, it's fucking gonna make people do stupid fucking
it's
shit.
gonna make people buy the album.
That's
what it's gonna do.
Yeah, because it's almost like shock value, but then it starts integrating itself into culture, and people start doing it and living their life,
100%.
right? I mean,
So the person who is not even the artist could be contributing to art for bad.
yeah.
Dude,
it's
fucking
art
deep web.
is so fucking deep because it has such an impact on everybody. Every single person on this planet is affected by art in some way that it can control you in a way almost. You can get so immersed in a culture or in part of that art, like me making music, man. I'm out here every day, at least for like an hour, trying to fuck around with music. It's now part of my life. It's weird when I go out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it can just hit you like that in a way, and I'm sure just the influence of those artists can hit people in a way that they want to be like them, and that's kind of what's happening. And you see with the power of the internet, you see all these clones. It's almost like clones, like with rap and stuff.
Like the Neptunes album?
No, that would be dope if that was coming out.
No,
Shit like
that's
clones.
like 15 years old.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
That's what
okay.
I'm saying. It would be dope if that was coming out right now.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? But like, even with rock, like I don't even really listen to
Rock has
music.
disappeared.
Yeah,
there's not much going on
it's all
there.
clone, man. It's all what's popular, what's hot, like what these people are seeing something succeed, so they're going to emulate it because they want to succeed, and they don't necessarily believe it. It's just like a toxic loop because it's not really teaching you good things.
No, but you can say that about...
But it's not requisite of art to teach you good
I know.
things. Art doesn't owe you anything.
There's the line, right?
Fuck. Sorry,
But-
what were you going to say, Mickey?
Well, I was gonna say, you go back in the day, speaking of rock, like the 80s and the 90s, maybe it was the 80s. People go, oh, I want to do that, and then they go and make a rock band.
Yeah.
And then again, what they decide to go, which route, whatever they decide to go on, drugs and alcohol, or the straight and narrow, correct me if I'm wrong, but Rush was never really known for their drug use and alcohol abuse.
no.
Another one, a good example, Dee Schneider. You'd think of his music as I know it's not
What is this man an example of?
somebody who's like in the heavy metal scene, but doesn't drink, doesn't do drugs,
Right.
Kind of keeps a sober persona. But in his music, some may look at that and go, "Oh, I want to emulate that lifestyle." He's like, "I'm not. You read my
But-
message wrong, maybe."
It's not really even about what they do. It's about glorifying what they do. You can be like a rock star and sing about your sadness and your regrets in life, or a rapper and sing or rap about whatever you want, but it's the actions you do that's not in the track. That if you're glorifying everything you're saying, like if there's a 17-year-old kid spitting about sipping lean and he's glorifying it, to all these like teenagers who are listening, impressionable young people growing up, that's fucked up. Is that not fucked up? Like there's this kid who's have 500 million views on YouTube talking about sipping fucking lean, and he's 17 years old.
Yeah, but have you tried it?
Yeah, I do it every day. No, but do you know what I'm saying here?
Yeah, no,
like, It's
definitely.
about the glorification of what they do. You can do it all you want and still make legitimate music, and people might not even know you're a fucking cokehead or whatever.
Okay, so this is a good point because it comes around to something that drives me up the fucking wall.
Right on. I love
Mickey.
that shit.
Yeah, it's just Mickey. Definitely. No.
Me too.
People, when artists become bigger than themselves and bigger than their art, people reference them in a cult of personality. So you've got John Lennon. People don't know don't listen to Imagine. ask Julian Lennon about John Lennon. You won't hear a lot of positives.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then they'll trot him out and quote him as this, martyr,
Fuck
pretty
it.
much.
Yeah.
He's a god these
Yeah.
days, which is funny in light of, Imagine.
Right.
But people don't even necessarily understand the art or the artist. And it's just sort of the image that has superseded everything. And in a weird way, I think that's completely the case with Lil Pump. But
His name's Lil Pump.
it's,
Sorry.
yeah,
It just hit me.
but it's not solidified yet. So people have this image of who they think he is, and it ceases to matter who he actually is. And it in fact ceases to matter what his art actually is.
It's interesting because
And that sentence can apply to both of those people.
Yeah.
it's interesting that you bring up the perceived and then the real. Where I kind of have an issue.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
We're like, just for an example, how we idolize a lot of these artists and just kind of go, oh, they were this and that and all these great things. But like you said, we don't look at who. If we ask somebody else, they would paint him in a different color.
Yeah.
We're kind of having this same issue with particular figures of history. Like, for example, the John A. MacDonald statue out west, they're going, oh, he was actually this. It's interesting how we are so quick to go, these people, these figures of history, who they actually were. But yet we look at these artists and maybe we don't go, well, they made me happy, so who cares what they did?
I got a good one.
Is it Chris Brown?
Just from what I'm seeing as of late.
That's an interesting point,
I'm not
Mickey.
seeing a lot of people go after
true.
these artists. They're going after actors like
Yeah.
a witch hunt, which fine, you know what I mean? These guys are fucking doing these bad things, absolutely. But
You're just talking about musicians right now.
particularly, yes.
We've completely not, well, aside from my brief little aside, not touched literature at all.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Books are dumb. I'm just kidding. I'm
I mean,
kidding.
that's okay. Books, literature. Wait, I had one good one. What did I have? One good one for that point.
I was talking about how
Yeah.
people don't dive too much into the artist. And
Jimmy
they're-
Page.
Okay.
Jimmy Page, Led Zeppelin.
What about him?
He stole a lot of shit.
He stole a lot of shit.
Stole a lot of shit.
But yeah, we don't look at that. We go,
But
oh, he was in
people
Led
still look
Zeppelin.
like he's a fucking god. I mean, he can play amazing, but it's like the orchestra case, right? It's like this guy kind of ripped off a lot of songs and added
Sure.
some fancy fucking shit because he was quick.
Yeah.
Is he an artist or is he just a manipulator? Do you know what I mean? Is he just a studio? I mean, he was a studio guitar player.
Sure.
He just took some shit, altered it, made it sound badass. Like, anyway, food for thought. Even
Yeah.
some of the greats, man, you got to look at it. You got to look at them because some of that shit is just, it's sketchy, man. Like on that line. It's on that fucking line of art or just manipulation of what was already there. I don't know.
Interesting.
Anyway, yeah, literature though. Can I say something about literature before we
Yes,
you
please.
dive into it?
Say a lot
I'd
of
say
things,
literature
sure.
is one of the most purest forms, or possibly the purest, because it's just word.
Keep going.
I mean, music is pure. I'd say it's second purest.
No, I'm not going to say what.
Yeah.
I'm not going to compare a pure form to a pure form. Just
Yeah.
about the.
They're
about
all
literature.
pure.
Well, pure in what? What do you mean by pure?
It means that you're literally writing what you're thinking and feeling with
okay.
word.
Okay.
Like it's just boom boom. Where music, it's like music. You kind of have to get that sound, that vibe, that whatever you're trying to get across. I mean, with a book, you have to be descriptive or whatever, right? I'm not a writer, a literature guy really, but I'd imagine it's extremely fucking hard to write a book. I could not write a book.
Fuck, I tried.
I could not fucking write a book. I'll tell you that right now. But so if you are a writer, and especially if you write books, that's like one of the most purest form of, unless it's like a textbook, I guess, maybe. I don't know. Certain textbooks.
I agree,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's, you can still be, fucking E.L. James or Stephanie Meyer, and see, it sounds like I'm ripping on women authors. I'm not. It's just they happen to be behind the two worst literary phenomenons of recent memory,
Okay.
which are 50 Shades of Grey and Twilight, respectively.
Oh, man, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Don't be hating on my Twilight. I'm just kidding.
But you can be a writer and still be a hack. But it's still a purer form of art because you are not required. This is why I love literature. Once you have wiped your hands of it, it belongs to the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you can go to every fan expo in the world and ask an author what they intended. But even that doesn't quite matter anymore because people's ideas and images in their head are still going to be what they are. I think that a book essentially is its own entity as soon as the author releases it to the world.
Right.
Which is not necessarily true of a song because there is an obvious presence in a song or in cinema.
And would you also put poetry in there too? With like they obviously had a certain kind of end game goal, not to be like one of the big things I always hated in high school was, oh, what does this mean to you? Oh, this. No, you're wrong. Well, why the fuck did you ask me? But I've always felt that when the poet was writing, they had something in mind. It wasn't necessarily up for debate. This is what they wanted to say. But and then if we want to interpret it, they're probably going, I don't care what the fuck you do. That's not what I was trying to say.
But that's an old argument too, man. Literary analysis.
I never understood that personally.
It's kind of bullshit, but it's kind of everything at the same time.
Well, I can see where it's important to go, this is what the author was trying to say, but then I go, I think they were trying to do this. I was like, well, come on.
But then you've got authors who weren't necessarily trying to say something, or weren't necessarily trying to say just one thing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It gets muddy really quick.
Yes, it can.
And that's the same thing with books. That's why I say they belong to the world. Like I've never seen anything. I'm not a fanboy, so I don't chase this shit down. But actually, I'm going to mention Chris Moore again because he also wrote a book on Impressionism, sort of. It's featured in the Impressionist timeline of history in France, but it's called Sacre Bleu. It's about the color blue. Is what the fucking book is about. Right. Like, how the fuck you write a book about that, right? What it boils down to is there's a muse, a goddess who is blue. She is the color blue.
Okay.
And she gives her gift to artists throughout history, but also to sustain her, to rejuvenate her throughout history. She takes from them. And I'm way oversimplifying. It's an extremely good book. But I think it's the perfect metaphor for inspiration in art. And I have never heard the author say that before. But I think it's the greatest metaphor of all time. Because it's like, yeah. And it's a little on the nose, but art takes everything. Mm-hmm. Like, you can like if I finish a good writing session, I can be fucking drained.
Oh yeah.
And like how? I just sat there scribbling or typing away. It doesn't even make sense, right? Mm-hmm. But that's what inspiration does. Is it's like a drug.
Like adrenaline almost.
Yeah,
like it
bro.
Fucking drains you. Oh yeah, man. Like I come in, I'm like, man, all I did was smoke and make beats.
Well, the smoking.
Whipped. Oh yeah, that's smoking. No, but even if I don't, and I just mess around for like an hour. But then if I get deep into something, then I can definitely. I'm like my eyes are like, whoa.
I find sometimes when I get too deep into guitar, I start drooling on it.
No shit.
Yeah,
you
straight
just
up.
Drool on your axe.
I'll go, oh fuck! I get just so into it, I will actually start to drool.
So that beard doesn't do anything.
Oh, it will catch, and then it's really annoying because I can feel it on my chin and I can't get at it.
Can you record it next time for research purposes?
Yes.
Wait, you just want to hear me just playing all of a sudden go.
Yeah, right before bed.
But then I can feel the drain afterwards. When I'm done, I put my guitar down going, I'm going to go to bed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, your brain, it's a kind of muscle, right? So it's working too.
Mm-hmm.
There's mental exhaustion for sure.
Yeah, like trying to fucking talk to you about that.
No, I'm playing devil's advocate. Like I don't look at everything as like I don't watch a basketball game and be like, bro, that was fucking art. You know, like
We're not going back to this.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like I don't do that.
Sports.
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Sports.
Oh God. I don't know. Literature, unless it's like, I guess you could divide it too, eh? Literature, because it's lyrics, poetry, novel. It could be like what, biography, an autobiography, and then like journals. They get published, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So like, there's so many different.
I think a really interesting form of expression is creative nonfiction, and I don't like it, but I think you have to give it its due because you're trying to artistically tell the truth, or at least tell the facts. I think truth, quotation marks, is best told by fiction because you are not bound by reality. So if you're trying to convey like an emotion, the best thing you can do is just fucking let the emotion go and let this bullshit story come out. You know,
Yeah,
I think fiction is the absolute best vessel for getting to a deeper truth.
Right.
Obviously, you can't use it for a history book.
No,
you're not going to learn those things from it. But you know what I'm saying?
I totally understand that. I totally agree. That's why I think, like, novel. Well, not everything, because bullshit is bullshit and art is art. Just because you write a novel doesn't mean you're an artist. Twilight.
Yeah.
Right. But if you write something with deep truth and it's fiction, like, you did some shit, man. Like, your brain did some shit.
You brought up.
I think he wants to say something.
His hand is up.
You brought up journals, and the one that popped into my head was Samuel Pepys, P-E-P-Y-S, his diary, 1966, of the Great Fire of London. So that's one I've been meaning to read, but it's
1966, wasn't that
1666?
1666?
Did I say 19? I'm looking at it right now. I'm like 1666. Something that I've been meaning to really just take some time and actually read, but. Would we find that you know what? Fuck, I'm gonna read it. I mean, that's gonna be my thing for next month.
Just
I will read the fucking
read it,
thing, and we'll come back, and I'm gonna tell you if I believe it's gonna be a form of art, because you said what was that nonfiction thing that you said? Something nonfiction,
Creative
nonfiction.
nonfiction.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, and I'm hoping maybe we'll get a little bit out of this journal, because he's obviously gonna be talking about the.
I could point you to 50,000 sources of creative nonfiction.
Okay, well, then. Would be some that I could look at real quick. Not right now, but in the very near future.
Link me, brah.
Well, no, even just for like, people who are listening might go, oh, I don't.
You should still read that, though.
Well, no, I will, but I'm
you should
just
read
not
that.
fully understanding what creative nonfiction is. And I'm saying, if as an example, maybe I go, if I maybe have heard of it and go, okay, now I understand. And maybe for our listeners, they'll go, okay.
You're when trying to artistically tell a story, but with the facts. As I said, I don't like it,
Okay.
and it's not because it's invalid, because it's tight. It's fucking tight. I just want to go.
Okay.
You know, I'll tell my truths. I'll write my poems and I'll tell my stories and all these things, but I don't want to be bound by reality. Whoa, deep bruh. Anyway. That's my piece on literature. There's obviously too much to say, and not really a lot of writers who are larger than life figures. They're out there. You've got some writer celebrities,
But I think that's more so in the writers community. Would you say it's more
mostly
not necessarily the woman who did Harry Potter, but that's just you don't.
She's the fucking bomb. J.K. Rowling is the fucking bomb.
Great,
she unbillionaired herself by giving to charity.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
She is legit
As fuck.
I wonder if any literary geniuses of the day, if they were around today doing the same thing, would they be up there with her? Maybe
some would.
Yeah.
Maybe some are coming up.
It would probably still be as rare as it is now.
Fair enough.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that visual artists generally aren't too involved in celebrity either. Like, they're out there. They're out there in the same way that literary ones are, but the art stands on its own. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't require constant interference from the artist. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen art shows or anything.
Oh, yeah.
I've kind of.
So I have this thing that if a piece of art needs to be explained, it's not good.
Right.
Like a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can get with that.
I was ready for a lot of fucking backlash on that one.
Kick you in the face right now.
Fucking Mickey.
No, it's the same idea, but a joke, explaining a joke takes away the cleverness and the wit, you know. So you flatten it,
Yeah.
and just sort of put all the facts there. But if you have to explain your art, not that you can't or you shouldn't, but if you have to explain your art, like have to for anyone to get it, then it's not good on its own. Then you've done something wrong. You need to reassess.
Try and get your message out differently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe, just maybe, you should have played hockey.
Loose up those skates, baby.
Oh, shit.
All right, well, that is quite enough for today. So, ladies, thank you as always.
No problem. Anytime.
Oh, I thought you were talking to our listeners. I said, oh, okay.
No,
I knew he was talking to me.
Ah.
they have. Our listeners haven't really done much for me
Aw.
besides listening.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good thing. I'm trying to say I don't take advantage of people, Mickey.
Oh, man, it goes over my fucking head.
Clearly.
Well, you should stand up.
No, I'm still too short. It'll probably still go way over.
Oh, we love you anyway, Krillin.
I want to die.
Tying those two threads together.
Art and Krillin?
Ninja Turtles versus Dragon Ball Z.
Who would win?
I just wanted to
You just
leave that
wanted it.
thread there.
Yeah.
I just want to dangle it.
Dangle it.
Are we
baby.
going to talk about it? Oh, no.
I don't know. I'm gonna dangle that there for y'all to discuss amongst yourselves. Ninja Turtles versus Dragon Ball Z. Who wins and why?
We want to know.
Dragon Ball Z wins.
Okay, I didn't want you to fucking answer it
Oh,
right
I
now.
just did. So
Anyway,
it's fucking
so-
stupid. They use energy beams, and the others are just big turtles. Like, are you fucking serious? Okay, anyway, yeah.
Yeah, but you've never seen the Ninja Turtles defeated, and you've seen Saiyans beat to absolute shit. So, with that,
Bye.
we gonna sign off.
All right.
Slick,
Peace out, mans.
Mickey.
and girls.
Cheers, everybody.
People kind.
Hey y'all, thanks for attending the shit show. We appreciate your time, your attention, and of course your guacamole recipes. We are active on Instagram, and you can also find us on Facebook and Twitter. Everything at Fresh Slick and Mick, all one word. That's Fresh Slick AND Mick. To listen to more explicit douchebaggery and brodification of your favorite high intellectual pursuits, we are on iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, and Google Play under Fresh Slick and Mick. Respect the Oxford comma. And for all inquiries, suggestions, features, and hate mail, we're at freshslickandmick@gmail.com. We have been and will continue to be Mitchy Slick, Pope Mickey the First, and I am Jay Fresh. This is Fresh Slick and Mick. Peace out, y'all.